In this video, we're looking at streamers whose public image started falling apart once their controversies became impossible to ignore. By the end, you'll see how live streaming turns every bad decision into a permanent public spectacle. Also, remember to subscribe if you enjoy these creator downfall compilations. Today's first story is on Pokimane.
Fortunately, we live in such a self-centered, capitalistic society, and it sucks because it trains us to prioritize work and money above all else, even friendships, even being there for other people. And then again, it creates this culture where people are like, oh, I don't want to bother them, they're probably busy.
This is Pokimane, one of the biggest streamers in the world. If you somehow don't know her, she's a Twitch and YouTube powerhouse who's been around for almost as long as live streaming itself, with an estimated net worth north of $6 million. What you're about to look at isn't some random clip taken out of context or a single bad take that went viral. This is a pattern that's been playing out for years, a long trail of contradictions between the image she presents publicly and the reality behind the scenes. When you zoom out, it starts to say less about one streamer and more about something much bigger: how massive influencer wealth quietly reshapes behavior, incentives, and authenticity, even for creators who built their brand on being relatable. To understand why people bought into Pokimane so hard, you have to rewind to the beginning. Long before brand deals, headlines, and leaked earnings spreadsheets, she built herself as the definition of approachable, the down-to-earth gamer girl, someone who felt normal in a space that, at the time, really wasn't. Early Twitch was a very different ecosystem. The platform was dominated by hardcore gaming communities, StarCraft streams, esports grinders, and personalities that leaned heavily into niche internet culture. There were far fewer women streaming back then, and even fewer who were able to break through into the mainstream. So when Pokimane showed up, playing games casually, chatting with viewers, and presenting herself as friendly and relatable, it stood out immediately. For a lot of people, she felt accessible in a way most streamers didn't.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm sick right now.
God bless.
God bless.
Wow, thank you.
Now, let's be honest, a huge portion of that audience, both now and then, was absolutely parasocial. Some viewers were clearly projecting fantasies onto her and reading way more into the interactions than was healthy. But that part almost doesn't matter. What mattered was the image being presented. The persona was someone humble, grateful, and grounded. Someone who just happened to be blowing up online. Pokimane leaned into that image consistently. Over time, she also adopted progressive politics and anti-corporate messaging that resonated strongly with her younger audience. She talked about fairness, ethics, and responsibility in the influencer space. And to be fair, this wasn't an act that suddenly appeared later. Even early on, she framed herself as socially conscious and values-driven. In that sense, her views haven't really shifted. What changed was her position. One of the biggest trust-building elements from that era was how she reacted to money. Old streams show her visibly shocked when someone donated a large amount. She would double check, ask if they were serious, and sometimes even tell people that they didn't need to do that.
You loyal.
What the fuck?
Hey guys, hope you had a good New Year's in Maine, and I hope 2017 will be a great year. Glad to be a part of the Poke Squad.
Oh my god! What the heck?
Again, yes, a lot of those donors were likely emotionally attached viewers. That dynamic existed, but her reaction still came across as genuine. It looked like someone who wasn't used to that level of wealth and didn't take it for granted. Then there's the moment from December 2019 that really sums everything up. She's browsing Louis Vuitton, reacting live, when a viewer drops a $2,020 donation. At the time, people found it funny and endearing. The optics were perfect. A streamer shocked by a big donation while casually looking at luxury items. It felt ironic in a harmless way.
Oh, this is so cool that it moves. Their website is really good, I won't lie.
Because it's almost 2020.
You said it for me, dude. Oh, I got a little bit of a oopsie. I got a little bit of a tear. Jeez Louise, what? That's a lot of money. Are you sure you want to give that much money?
Looking back, it hits differently. By that point, her financial reality was already far removed from the image. She had openly turned down a single sponsorship deal worth around $3 million, which quietly told everyone that money was no longer something she had to chase. Later on, the Twitch leak confirmed that she made around $1.5 million from Twitch alone between 2019 and 2021. That number didn't include donations, sponsorships, YouTube revenue, or business ventures, just platform payouts. By any reasonable standard, she was already deep into the top tier of internet wealth, and yet the persona barely shifted. The same wide-eyed reactions, the same framing herself as an average creator navigating success in real time, the same down-to-earth presentation that originally earned trust years earlier. That growing distance between perception and reality is the key point. Even back then, the money was flowing fast, while the image stayed frozen in a much earlier version of her career. And that gap is where every controversy that comes later really lives. In May of 2021, a tweet from Pokemon's alt account slipped through the cracks and ended up saying a lot more than it probably meant to. The tweet read, "Capitalism rewards psychotic behavior." This was coming from Pokemon, someone whose entire rise is a case study in consumer capitalism working perfectly. She didn't stumble into wealth by accident. Her career was built on subscriptions, donations, sponsorships, ad revenue, brand partnerships, and platform algorithms designed to maximize profit. The same system she criticized is the reason she became a multi-millionaire in the first place, which made the tweet feel deeply disconnected from reality. That disconnect became even harder to ignore after interviews surfaced where she openly admitted, or at least jokingly alluded to, spending up to $100,000 a year on Starbucks and Uber Eats alone.
I'm kind of crazy to you, but for me, like, there really isn't a massive difference between even 200K and 300K. Because at the end of the month, like, you have enough to splurge on yourself when you want to. You have enough to pay.
For Starbucks, yeah.
Dude,
that's $100,000 a year in itself.
That detail stuck with people because it highlighted just how far removed her lifestyle was from the average viewer she was supposedly speaking alongside. Criticizing capitalism hits differently when you are benefiting from its conveniences at an extreme level. The public reaction was predictable. People started pointing out that she is functionally a walking advertisement. Her streams promote platforms, products, and brands by default. Even her existence online generates value for corporations. Her wealth is not abstract. It comes directly from millions of viewers across the globe consuming her content, engaging with her image, and buying into the ecosystem surrounding her. I understand you can critique something you've benefited from, but you're practically the corporate favorite to place ads on, along with other family-friendly streamers, or used to push merchandise. So you're not just benefiting, you're in bed with it. Funny you say that, after you have been using capitalism to your advantage, ever since you started streaming, and making millions of dollars a year from sponsors, and different brands, and your merch, and YouTube videos, and all the subs and donations you get. But whatever. Despite this, Pokemon would try refuting the claims that she spent $100K a year on Uber Eats and Starbucks. Replying to a now deleted tweet from Scarce, she said, "I definitely don't spend anywhere near $100K a year on Starbucks, nor do I earn $80K per stream, nor do I own a mansion or any property. News is really slow, but there's a lot of clickbait headlines, and I really don't appreciate you spreading misinformation like this." At the time though, the situation was easy to brush off. Another tweet, another discourse cycle. She clarified, people argued, and the internet moved on. No lasting damage and no serious consequence. But looking back, this moment quietly laid the groundwork for everything that followed. It established a familiar rhythm. Say something that signals progressive awareness, get praised by fans who already agree, get called out by critics who point out the hypocrisy, let the conversation burn itself out, and repeat. Whether intentional or not, this pattern keeps attention on her without requiring content to fundamentally change. And that's where things get interesting. If you actually watch her streams, there isn't much spectacle. A lot of it is just casual chatting, reacting to videos, eating food, or filling time with her audience. The core appeal isn't innovation or production value, it's the persona, the friendly, relatable gamer girl that viewers feel connected to. Moments like the capitalism tweet add spice to that formula. They reinforce the idea that she's thoughtful, grounded, and on the side of everyday people, even when the reality doesn't line up. And while she may be the last person who needs to denounce capitalism, saying it anyway helps preserve the illusion that she's still just one of them. By November 2023, the gap between Pokémon's image and reality finally stopped being subtle. That's when she launched Minor Cookies, a snack brand that was supposed to be the next evolution of her ethical, thoughtful creator persona. On paper, it sounded harmless. A streamer launches cookies. Influencers do this kind of thing all the time. The problem was everything that came with it. The pricing alone raised eyebrows immediately. Minor Cookies were sold at $28 for a 4-pack. Each bag was about 4 ounces, which works out to be roughly $7 per bag. That already felt steep for cookies, but things escalated quickly once people started digging deeper. Internet users discovered that the cookies were nearly identical to Tootsie Midnight Mini Cookies, a product that had previously been sold at Costco for $9.99 per 14-ounce bag. When you break that down, the difference is hard to ignore. Minor Cookies were effectively a rebranded version of an existing product sold at dramatically higher prices. The markup landed somewhere around 247%. The only meaningful change was the addition of vitamin D3 and new packaging. That was it. Same base ingredients, same concept, but vastly different cost. This is where the controversy could have stayed focused on pricing and transparency. Instead, it blew up because of how Pokimane responded. At first, she would respond to people saying it was just a rebrand, saying, "The batch we're currently shipping were made 3 weeks ago. The cookies they are being compared to were also made by our manufacturer, Creation Foods, which specializes in healthy food. The compared cookies had 1 test batch sold before they were retired. Months later, we partnered with Creation Foods and fell in love with the flavor profile of the Midnight Cookie. We then decided to work together to refine and improve the formula, and we're really happy with the final product." When fans started questioning why the cookies were so expensive, she didn't explain sourcing costs or defend quality. She mocked them. She referred to critics as broke boys and idiots, openly laughing at the idea that people might find her product unaffordable.
It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard. Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Anyway.
That moment changed everything. This was a multi-millionaire publicly ridiculing her own audience, many of whom are young and working class, for not being able to afford influencer cookies, the same audience that helped fund her lifestyle through subscriptions, donations, and views. The optics were impossible to defend. The marketing around the product only made it worse. Pokimane claimed she had spent 2 years perfecting the recipe. That statement became hard to take seriously once the ingredient lists were compared side to side. The similarities were overwhelming to say the least. What was framed as a carefully crafted passion project looked far more like a licensing deal with a fresh coat of influencer branding. Then there was shipping. Customers had to spend at least $56 just to qualify for free shipping. That meant buying multiple packs of cookies at already inflated prices just to avoid additional fees. For many fans, the entire experience felt engineered to extract as much money as possible while pretending to be creator-friendly and community-focused. After the backlash grew too loud to ignore, Pokimane issued an apology. On the surface, it checked the usual boxes. She said she worded things poorly, she expressed regret, and she acknowledged that she could have handled it better. While what I said was 100% intended to be a joke, I see why it came off as insensitive, and I apologize for that. I also understand the current price of the cookies may be expensive for some, and promise we'll continue to consider pricing to keep Minor as affordable as possible. I also want to clarify that this was said towards one rude chatter. I did not at all intend for it to be a general statement or towards my community. The sincerity of that apology didn't last very long. Not long after, during a Black Friday sale, she joked on stream about how the sale was not for broke boys. The same language, the same dismissive tone. Any illusion that the apology represented real reflection disappeared instantly. It became clear that the apology was about damage control, not accountability.
How are the cookies going? Good. I don't know if you guys saw, but we're doing a promotion today. It is not a broke boys Black Friday sale. okay? It is, if you buy a pack of 8 or 12, you get a free hat. It's a really cute hat. I have one. But yeah, in case anyone was interested.
She really loves calling people broke. Honestly, without her chat or anyone, she would be broke and struggling. She would not be where she is now if it wasn't for her chat. She's honestly a bad person, I don't care what anyone says. There's one last detail that really ties this whole thing together, and it's where Minor Cookies is today, which is nowhere. Trying to go to the website leads to a 404 error, and apparently it's been permanently shut down. No announcement, no explanation, no follow-up stream, no tweet thanking supporters or addressing what went wrong. At some point after the backlash, Minor Cookies just stopped existing. The website went down, social media went silent. The product vanished as if it was never supposed to be there in the first place. For a brand that was supposedly 2 years in the making, the silence is incredibly loud. This wasn't framed as an experiment or a limited run. It was marketed as a serious business venture, one that fans were encouraged to support at premium prices. By April 2025, the contrast had become almost impossible to ignore. Pokimane was in Paris, and this time she wasn't hiding anything. She posted her own footage, TikToks, stream clips, casual vlogs. The kind of content that's meant to feel fun and aspirational, but ends up telling a much bigger story if you just let it play out. The clips show her bouncing between luxury stores like Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Chanel. And not just browsing either. She's discussing Lady Dior bags, weighing color options, sitting in quiet lounges, while staff bring things out like it's routine. This wasn't a special occasion to splurge, it was just another trip. And then, mid-trip, she goes live and starts talking about wealth disparity. On stream, Pokimane starts ranting about how bad wealth inequality is getting. She talks about how people hate the rich, how the gap keeps widening, how frustrating it all feels. It's the kind of speech you've heard 1,000 times online, but this time it's happening while she's actively documenting luxury shopping sprees in Paris. Then her friend Jason chimes in and points out the obvious. He reminds her that she's rich too. There's a pause, and then you can almost hear the gears turning. She immediately pivots. She says she didn't mean rich people like her, she meant the ultra rich, the billionaires.
Men and women, we love each other. And we hate the rich. Anyways. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No! Like the ultra rich, the ultra giga rich, the
You have to
unnecessarily
clarify.
rich.
They're gonna clip that and it's gonna make you look bad.
Oh,
You
the
gotta
ultra
say
giga rich.
the billionaires.
The billionaires.
Because you are rich.
The Bezos.
You can't be saying that.
I'm rich in friendship.
Yes.
What makes this moment land harder is the context from just weeks earlier. On stream, Pokimane had openly said that Google's estimate of her $6 million net worth was wrong and too low. She didn't give an exact number, but she made it clear that it was significantly higher. She also acknowledged that she earns enough to fall into the 50% tax bracket in California.
The thing is, I'm taxed 50% every single year that I've lived here, so.
6 million? That's not enough.
That's incorrect.
That's low.
Is that recent?
This is 20. This is
Okay,
4
low is
days
crazy.
ago.
6 million is not.
I mean, that's low for you, is what I mean.
He said 6 million, that's low.
Twitch contract. You think Twitch will hand me a contract?
They don't do it anymore.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's not a vague flex, that's a very specific level of income. At that point, there's really nothing left to interpret. This is someone firmly planted in the top 1 to 2% globally. Someone with the freedom to fly to Paris, shop at Dior, and casually documented for millions of people. And in the middle of that, she's talking about how bad wealth disparity is, and how much we hate the rich. By January 2026, the capitalism rant wasn't a surprise anymore, it was a rerun. That month, Pokimane posted a video criticizing what she called capitalistic society. She talked about how people are trained from a young age to prioritize work and money over everything else.
Fortunately, we live in such a self-centered, capitalistic society. And it sucks because it trains us to prioritize work and money above all else, even friendships, even being there for other people. And then again, it creates this culture where people are like, oh, I don't want to bother them. They're probably busy. Oh, I've heard so many people discuss this, In order to have a village, you need to be a villager. I think that's really true. Like, if you want people to be there for you when you need it, you gotta be there for them when they need it. But it's also annoying to even have to like convince someone to be there for you so you can be there for them. It's like, it's a whole myriad of things.
On its own, that message is familiar and honestly pretty mainstream online. What made it explode was everything surrounding it. Visually, the clip was almost parody level. Sitting front and center on her microphone was a designer Labubu toy. Around her were luxury items clearly visible on camera. The background looked like a high-end home, the kind of space most people will never step foot in, let alone own. The aesthetic screamed wealth while the message tried to distance itself from it. The internet did what it always does and started connecting the dots. People began compiling lists: the mansion, the designer clothes, the Paris shopping sprees, the $28 cookies, the 5-figure shopping trips, the Starbucks and Uber Eats spending, the sponsorships, the brand deals, the constant monetization laid on top of a speech about how money shouldn't matter so much. This time, it stuck. Unlike earlier moments, people weren't reacting to a single tweet or an offhand comment. They were reacting to a pattern they already watched play out for years. The January 2026 clip brought it all together in one place. The words and the visuals were in direct conflict, and there was no easy way to spin it. What really changed the tone was the response. In the past, criticism like this could be dismissed as bad faith or jealousy. This time, even neutral viewers could see it. You didn't need to hate her to notice the disconnect. You just had to look at the frame. This was the moment where a lot of people stopped calling these incidents mistakes, and negative tweets reacting to this would amount tens of thousands of likes and replies agreeing with the sentiment. Why is it always rich people talking about this kind of stuff? People are literally struggling to buy meals and pay their rent right now, and you're over here selling cookies for $28, complaining people aren't there for you. Girl, grow up. Lives in a mansion, wears designer clothes, calls her viewers broke boys, tried selling $28 bags of cookies, addressed them by saying, if you're a broke boy, just say so, bought a $12,000 engagement ring for herself to LARP, tries interacting with a working man with limited time once.
There's a problem with society.
Have you considered you might be the problem, or did the wall hit too hard? The reason this moment mattered is because it finally crystallized what people had been feeling for a long time. This wasn't about growth or self-awareness. It was about maintaining an image that no longer matched reality, even as the gap kept getting wider. At this point, the pattern is clear enough that you can almost set your watch to it. Every controversy follows the same cycle, and once you see it laid out, it becomes impossible to unsee. It always starts the same way. Step 1 is a progressive or anti-wealth statement. Capitalism is bad, the rich are the problem, society prioritizes money too much. These talking points land perfectly with a young online audience that already feels squeezed and frustrated. Step 2 follows immediately. People point out the contradiction, they bring up the mansion, the designer shopping, the 7-figure earnings, and the luxury lifestyle that directly clashes with the message being preached. That's when step 3 kicks in, deflection. Critics get dismissed as haters, jealous, or bad faith. Sometimes the argument quietly shifts. Sometimes the language tightens, which leads directly into the most reliable fallback defense she uses every time, the not that rich argument. Over and over, Pokimane reframes the conversation as millionaires versus billionaires. The implication that wealth only becomes morally relevant once you cross into the 9 or 10 figures. Anyone below that line gets grouped in with regular people just doing fine. The problem is that this framing collapses under even basic scrutiny. To the overwhelming majority of people, someone worth anywhere from $6 to $20 million is extraordinarily wealthy. The average American earns roughly $1.7 million over their entire lifetime before taxes. That means that her net worth represents 3 to 12 full lifetimes of work for a normal person. There is no meaningful way to describe that as anything other than rich. After the deflection works and attention fades away, step 4 happens quietly. She goes right back to the luxury lifestyle, designer hauls, expensive trips, brand deals, and monetized content. Nothing materially changes. And then, inevitably, step 5 arrives. The cycle repeats. Another statement, more backlash, and another reset. Other creators noticed this too, and their reactions only highlighted how divided the space is. XQC questioned the idea that being wealthy automatically makes someone bad. bad, pushing back on the moral framing entirely.
And you somehow get richer, you're automatically bad? You know what, chat? I think this is like some brain rot. I mean, no disrespect, it's all good. I'm not mad at Pokey or anything.
Sneeko went in the opposite direction, calling her completely out of touch and disconnected from reality.
This is such a capitalistic society. Oh, bro, this is like 100K right here. This is like 100 bands right here. This is such a materialistic. We need to eat the rich. We need to eat the rich.
Meanwhile, Hassan defended her, which critics quickly pointed out meant one multimillionaire was defending another. The optics did not help.
I think it's because of the closeness that most streamers have to being normal people at a certain point in their lives, as opposed to like a guy who's been a multi-billionaire for the past decade or so. Most streamers have a much nicer and much better understanding of what it used to be like when they didn't have fucking money, and therefore have takes like this. You want rich people to have takes like this. It's very fucking annoying that people yell at rich people that have takes like this.
The unnecessarily
You have to clarify. They're gonna clip that and it's gonna make you look bad.
Oh.
You gotta say the billionaires.
The billionaires.
Because you are rich.
The Bezos.
You can't be.
I mean, he was right, and they did clip it regardless. This is literally her being less dumb than everyone else in the room, explaining the difference between millionaires and the ultra rich who control the country even out of office is so stupid. No, you don't understand, brother. You don't understand. It's actually Pokemon that is responsible for the disparity of wealth in this country.
This is where the idea of luxury beliefs becomes important. These are progressive sounding positions that cost the speaker nothing. They signal virtue, they generate approval, they resonate emotionally with a young audience, but they never require sacrifice. There is no redistribution, no loss of comfort, no structural change. The politics live at the level of aesthetics, not material consequences. That disconnect creates something worse than simple hypocrisy. It creates parasocial betrayal. Streamers grow their audiences by selling authenticity. They sell the feeling of closeness, relatability, and shared values. Viewers are encouraged to feel like they are supporting a friend. When the mask slips, those viewers realize the relationship was always transactional. Their money funded a lifestyle they are now mocked for being unable to afford. This hits especially hard for her audience. Gen Z and young millennials are dealing with record housing costs, crushing student debt, and stagnant wages. Many of them supported her financially when they had far less. For that same group to be brushed off as broke boys by someone they helped elevate is a specific kind of insult. In the end, it mirrors the classic champagne socialist archetype: progressive rhetoric paired with elite living, sympathy without solidarity, and a growing distance from the very people the message claims to stand for. Before wrapping this up, it's worth being very clear that this is not a moral judgment about wealth itself. No one is saying Pokimane is evil for being rich, or that she should apologize for succeeding. She built a massive career, played the game well, and made a lot of money doing it. That part is undeniable, and it's not the issue. The issue is the disconnect, the repeated gap between what she says publicly and how she lives privately. A gap that hasn't appeared once or twice, but consistently over the past 5 years. When something happens that contradicts the image, it gets brushed off, reframed, or forgotten, only for the cycle to start again. Zooming out, this isn't really just about her anymore. She's simply the most visible example of a much larger problem baked into influencer culture itself. The influencer economy rewards relatability above all else. The closer a creator feels to their audience, the more powerful their brand becomes. The problem is that success in that system almost guarantees eventual distance. You can't remain financially elite while staying socially grounded in the same way. At some point, the lifestyle changes faster than the persona does. Influencers are encouraged to keep selling authenticity long after it stops being true. The audience still gets the language of struggle, fairness, and shared frustration, while the reality behind the camera looks nothing like that experience anymore. Over time, that mismatch turns into resentment, confusion, and eventually backlash. That's why each new controversy hits harder than the last. People are not reacting to isolated comments, they're reacting to a pattern they've watched repeat itself for years. Each new anti-wealth rant lands a little flatter, because viewers already know what comes next. Nothing changes, the lifestyle continues, the messaging resets. At this point, Pokimane occupies a strange and uncomfortable role. She is the rich person criticizing the rich, the capitalist benefiting from the system while condemning it, the relatable streamer whose life has become completely out of reach for the people who built her platform. Until that cycle breaks in a meaningful way, every new statement about inequality, capitalism, or wealth will feel less like reflection and more like branding. And for an audience that once believed in the authenticity of it all, that hollowness is impossible to ignore. But Pokimane is far from the only streamer whose public image started collapsing once fans looked deeper. Kaizenat is currently facing a firestorm of negative backlash after announcing he would be taking a hiatus from streaming to become a clothing designer.
I'm just getting to making my own clothing brand. Okay. And I really want to learn.
After uploading videos of himself struggling to read, filming a 240p video despite being a multi-millionaire, and showing off his dream journal to outside press, people online seem to have enough of Kai, calling him performative and corny. Even Soulja Boy commented on the situation, saying, "The jig is up. WTF happened to Kaizenat?" The last time I talked about Kaizenat, I said that, "That's the thing about slow, steady reputational damage like the kind Kai is facing. It doesn't take a career overnight. Instead, it gradually makes people stop caring about the person they once supported." And that's exactly what happened. But instead of slowly declining into irrelevancy, it seems that the months of growing resentment have finally climaxed into the negative reaction we are seeing. Last time I talked about Kaizenat, the internet was torn between remembering him as streaming's most genuine success story and seeing him as one of the fakest personalities on the platform. For years, Kai was celebrated as the kid who beat the odds, coming from financial struggle, grinding YouTube since his early teens, and eventually exploding on Twitch through AMP and his record-breaking Mafiathon streams. Fans loved his energy, generosity, and the sense that he was still just a regular guy enjoying life with his community. But over the last year, that image has steadily cracked, not because of one catastrophic scandal, but through a long chain of smaller missteps. Viewers point to his half-kept promise to rebuild a school in Nigeria, his silence during major charity events like Team Water, and his sudden distancing from Aiden Ross after years of benefiting from his platform. The disrespect shown towards streamer Jinxie during a planned tournament, along with accusations of bot-inflated viewership within his circle, only strengthens the narrative that Kai now moves purely for optics. Many longtime fans feel his reactions are rehearsed, his content overly corporate, and his personality molded to fit celebrity culture rather than the community that raised him. Despite this, months before Kai's attempted rebrand, his career appeared to be at an all-time high. He had just shattered records by reaching 1 million Twitch subscribers during his grueling Mafiathon 3 stream. For those of you that don't know, Mafiathon was a massive 30-day subathon stream on Twitch, designed to maximize audience interaction, break streaming records, and generate massive revenue. Launched in 2023, the event featured 24/7 non-stop content, including celebrity guests, gaming, and elaborate skits, with viewer subscriptions extending the timer. On August 26th of last year, Kai would announce the final Mafiathon, promising that it would be the best one yet, and for many viewers, it was. Massive celebrities like Kevin Hart, Kim Kardashian, and LeBron James would join Kai and his people on stream, as they entertained a live audience of hundreds of thousands of people. LeBron even cut Kai's dread that he had grown out for 10 years.
Okay, wait, what's the last one?
The last one, hold on.
Last one.
Last one.
All right, go.
Last one.
Last one, guys, last one.
However, things weren't always perfect, and there were a few times when things went too far. In one instance, a live bird was being shown off to the camera, and for some reason, Drewski decided to throw a chair in the same direction the bird was. Now it's funny harassing animals on stream. Genuinely, who watches this garbage? Issues are obviously only natural when it comes to a 24/7 stream. Not only are you streaming yourself literally 24/7, even while sleeping, for the hours that you are awake, you have to be entertaining all the time. Sometimes you even have to be entertaining while you sleep.
Get there. Stop. Bro, come on, go. My fucking God. Man, bro,
However, the reaction from audiences these clips gave off was less of a response to what was happening on stream and closer to a building exhaustion of seeing Kai changing personality as he achieved more success. To some audience members, it felt like Kai wasn't the same person that they started watching back when he was just a normal Twitch streamer in his bedroom. Now, he was with massive media giants like Mariah Carey and Ed Sheeran. Cracks were starting to form in the foundation, even if many watching didn't see it yet. Following the conclusion of Marthiathon 3, Kai announced that he would be taking a break from streaming now that the marathon was over. Fans had already expected this, as he had done something similar for his past 2 Marthiathon streams, and streaming for 30 days straight has to be extremely mentally exhausting. Despite this, fans did expect Kai to eventually come back to streaming a few weeks after Marthiathon had concluded. Previously, after Marthiathon 2, Kai had taken a 15-day break and returned shortly after. However, this time would be very different, as days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Fans slowly started wondering when exactly Kai would return for his regular streams. It's not like he was inactive on social media, but for some strange reason, he didn't say anything about when streaming would begin. Only epic tweets about being inspired by Naruto. I used to think anime was weird and think it was just a cartoon, but it has helped me build way more courage than I ever had before, and I'm only on the 2nd season. Naruto is a prime example of someone who truly believes in chasing your dreams, following your heart, and never giving up. After 4 months, Kai would finally break his silence on streaming, releasing a video titled "I Quit." This clearly clickbait title would at first elicit a negative first reaction from fans, because surely there was no way he was actually quitting, right? As it turns out, it was half clickbait. In the video, Kai goes into detail about how he has had the time of his life streaming, but he wants to take a break and move on to greener pastures. More specifically, becoming a clothing designer and making his own brand called Vivette. According to Kai, this brand is meant to be more than just streamer merch. It's his creative pivot into fashion, and a way to express a passion outside of content creation. He says he developed it with a focus on craftsmanship and personal meaning, spending time in Italy learning about production and design, and quote, choosing a name that reflects his idea of living beyond one's identity rather than being boxed in by his fame.
It's more like what clothes did for me, and like I've been to Italy for the past 3 months. Like this is my first time I have a passion, a true passion for something besides content creation.
I have dreams one day to become a fashion designer and start my own clothing brand.
Not only that, but at the end of the video, Kai revealed that he'd been secretly uploading to another channel, more focused on the self-improvement type of content. Videos on this channel were things like working out, motivation, and him recording himself reading in order to be able to speak better.
I don't like the way I tend to articulate myself when I talk or try to get a point across, so I think reading is going to help me.
At first, some people were not convinced that this was the real reason he was moving on, and that there was another one. A few weeks earlier, Kai had announced that he had broken up with his long-term girlfriend Gigi, tweeting, "I'm single, I will never be in another relationship again." This tweet led fans to speculate as to what might have happened to cause this breakup, and many began wondering if he or Gigi had cheated on each other. The same day that Kai made his tweet, Gigi made a post on Instagram stating, "I left, now you want to get on the internet and rush to paint a false narrative about me of a fake Twitter post is insane. I've never cheated on him, and you know that. I have never dealt with that man. Play that sympathetic role somewhere else, please." This resulted in its own media frenzy as speculation went wild as to how this relationship could have possibly ended in the way that it did.
Say I won't. That's just how I'm feeling right now too, so say the wrong thing, I'ma say the wrong shit. Say the wrong shit, and I'm a motherfucker. No cap. I'm a dead ass. You won't. See, look.
This is story time about how Duke Dennis took my bitch, bro. This girl, we were talking for a little bit. Whatever, we had some plans.
Fuck, I think I broke my shit though.
When it comes to Kai's rebrand, the response to this pivot was mixed to say the least. There was definitely support to be seen from fans, excited that he was moving on with his life in a way that he wanted to, but there was also a negative reaction from the general public that was impossible to ignore. People began making fun of Kai for his videos where he was reading and sometimes had to look up how to pronounce a word and its meaning.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneous. How do I pronounce that? Spawn.
Ka listened to it and still pronounced it wrong. However, many began defending him as well. This is literally how you teach yourself things, lol. There is nothing to mock here. The world would generally be a better place if more people humbled themselves like this. If I don't know a word, I look it up too. Why is that funny? This is exactly what kids need to see. This is great influence actually. The biggest contributing factor to the negative reaction was most certainly from viewers calling his second channel performative, meaning what he was doing was mainly to be seen and perceived in a certain way, not purely for genuine growth. Because Kai films himself journaling, reading to improve vocabulary, and doing reflective activities, critics compared it to someone staging aesthetic habits at a cafe just for the image. People are skeptical because Kai is already extremely wealthy and successful, and everything he does is content by nature, so the transformation feels like a marketing narrative designed to promote Vivette rather than an organic life change. As an example, at the end of some of his reading videos, Kai would show off to the camera that the timer he set for himself was done, but he continued reading past it anyway.
You can use pair a new habit with a specific time and location. The implementation intention formula is I will behavior and time and location. Habit stacking is a strategy you can use to pair a new habit with a current habit. The habit stacking formula is after current habit, I will new habit, and that is time. Comedy 123, December 24th. Stating again, I am reading to articulate myself better for the future. See y'all next time. I'm left off at page 79.
To add on to this, some of Kai's videos were filmed in 240p, despite the fact that he clearly has the money and equipment for better quality. Many people interpreted this as his attempt to seem genuine and down to earth, when in reality it had the opposite effect. Genuinely pisses me off how performative this talk is. The most performative MF on YouTube right now. Dude is rich AF but uses a 240p camera quality. Lol. Proof that money doesn't unlame you. The examples are almost endless, but a few of the other major critiques people had are Kai recording himself using a sewing machine to assumably make the clothes he would be selling, even though it's very likely the case that these clothes would be made in a factory and not by hand. Kai listening to a Frank Ocean album. Critics disliked how, again, this came off as Kai trying to seem relatable to fans of Frank Ocean.
Bro, this alien. Oh my gosh. This alien, bro. How do you flow switch like this?
The list of clips that people had problems with was too many to count, and by the time a few days had passed, it became mainstream to make fun of this new rebrand. That, however, didn't stop other creators from coming out and trying to defend him. Some would go to TikTok to defend Kai for trying to make a reading habit, saying that this is the type of example that needs to be set for younger audiences.
Kai Cenat is not performative. I don't think you guys know what the fuck that word even means. He's doing every single thing he's intending to do. He's reading, working out, sewing, whatever, I don't care. But he's doing the actual thing. What's performative is you acting like you know how to read. Statistically speaking, most of you do not know how to read.
However, others would respond to this defense, arguing that they thought it was funny regardless.
There's no way y'all about to hop on this app and try to make people feel bad because we making fun of Kai Cenat because he can't read. The nigga is 24 years old and he don't know how to fucking read. He was admitted to a university. He went to college and dropped out. And the nigga don't know how to fucking read, dog. That's hilarious. Y'all are not about to make niggas feel bad for this shit. He's the one who set up the camera.
Whenever something like this happens, it's almost an inevitability that once other creators smell blood in the water, a feeding frenzy will begin. In this case, creators like Bruce Dropomoff threw shots at Kai, calling him performative.
Bro, just show the sweatshop, because you're not going to be in the lab all day, gang. You're just not. Show the sweatshop, bro. You're not doing this shit yourself, bro. The fuck? It's performative ass shit. You know how hard sewing is, gang?
Even his ex-girlfriend Gigi joined in. making an Instagram post alleging that Kai had cheated on her, but she had stayed anyway because he had already caught her talking to some of his friends behind his back first. Y'all know how it be when you get in a situation and your boyfriend don't want you communicating with your guy friends you had around before him. I respect it. I've admitted since day one I crossed that boundary by answering for him, and I also took accountability and immediately apologized. I'm not afraid to speak my wrongs, but the conversation was never disrespectful. It's also no excuse, but Miss Thickneck, since we are going there, why are you not just telling the full story? Tell him how he got caught having a bee in his crib at 5 AM, and my R just accepted to call it even. I'm the one really hurt, and this triangle back MF was in his messages like, "We gonna get through this. It hurts me when you're hurt. You deserve to be with somebody that loves you. I'm assuming that somebody is you, huh?" Even Soldier Boy had to comment on the situation. "The jig is up. WTF happened to Kai Cenat?" By now, it seemed like this reaction was not only from Kai's rebrand, but a negativity that had been festering for a while. People saying Kai Cenat is performative isn't some brand new idea. That conversation has been around for months, even years before he decided to rebrand. For a long time, there have been rumors that Kai doesn't actually pick his own music taste, that he might have a stylist or someone behind the scenes telling him what songs are trendy or culturally relevant. Those rumors really started because of different clips from his streams and concerts where he's vibing to a song but clearly doesn't know the lyrics, or he reacts in a way that feels more like a show than a genuine moment, like randomly taking his shirt off instead of actually engaging with the music. It's not just music. The same thing has followed him with anime too. One of the biggest examples people bring up is when Kai was talking about One Piece on stream and another guy called him out for not really knowing anything about it. When he got pressed, Kai kind of stumbled and couldn't back up what he was saying, which made a lot of viewers feel like he was just pretending to be into anime to seem more relatable to his audience.
I watched Death Note, I watched One Piece,
I
watched a little bit of 100.
You watch One Piece?
Yeah.
What you doing?
It's too long though, bro.
Nigga, what last episode you was on?
Like 100 and...
Kappa.
What? I'm being honest.
What's the last thing you remember?
It's been a minute.
Bro.
It's been a minute. Cause
Okay, name 3 characters.
Luffy.
Holy shit. Are you fucking kidding? Yo, bro.
That perception of Kai being fake doesn't stop at his interests either. A lot of fans believe his actual streams are more scripted than he lets on, even though they're presented like real spontaneous moments. There are tons of examples people point to, like the stream with Kevin Hart, where Kevin supposedly got mad about his friend Rakai talking to his daughter, or when he got woken up by getting water dumped on his face. Some viewers felt the whole situation was set up for content rather than something that naturally happened. So when Kai announced this big shift with his new brand and image, a lot of people didn't see it as growth, they saw it as another performance. If he was putting on an act before, why would this be any different? And that's the real problem. Whether it's fair or not, the history of him chasing what's popular has made it hard for people to believe this new version of Kai is completely genuine. This whole idea of Kai being performative also shows up in the way he even announced this rebrand in the first place. Instead of just being direct and saying, "Hey, I'm launching a clothing brand," he went with the huge clickbait title like "I quit," and sure, from a pure YouTube strategy point of view, that's probably the best way to get the most eyeballs on the video. But the problem is, Kai isn't just chasing views with this, he's trying to introduce a new version of himself, this more mature, down-to-earth, authentic persona, and starting that off by tricking people into thinking he's quitting everything kind of works against the message he's trying to send. Then you actually watch the video, and the production makes it even harder to believe it's genuine. There's dramatic music playing in the background while he's talking about his dreams and his vision, and it doesn't feel like a real conversation. It feels more like a scene from a documentary that a marketing team carefully planned out. Instead of coming across like Kai opening up to his audience, it ends up feeling like some Hollywood executive's idea of how to pull on people's heartstrings and make them emotional, without any real emotion actually being there. And what makes that worse is is the contrast with the content on his second channel. Over there, he's reading books, lifting weights, talking about motivation, recording himself in 240p, trying to seem like a super ragtag guy that's down to earth and gets it. So seeing that right next to this Hollywood dramatic cinematic rebrand video that probably cost hundreds of thousands of dollars makes it feel like he's trying way too hard to play two different characters at once instead of just being one real person. If Kai wanted this transition to feel believable, he could have looked at creators who actually managed to move outside of internet content in a natural way. A perfect example is Joji. He used to be Filthy Frank, which was about as opposite from his music career as you can get. But he didn't make some huge dramatic announcement about, quote, changing his life. He just quietly stepped back, focused on the music, and let the new identity speak for itself. Over time, people accepted it because it didn't feel forced. Now, obviously, Kai didn't need to disappear and create a whole new name just to drop a clothing brand, but the way he introduced it could have been so much better. He could have just been honest, talked to his audience like normal, and let the brand grow naturally. Instead, the big clickbait rollout and overproduced video made it feel less like a real evolution and more like another piece of content designed to go viral. And when people already questioned whether he's genuine, that approach just ends up feeding into the exact criticism he's trying to escape. The whole reason Kai Cenat's reading, lifestyle improvement, and fashion journey is getting so much hate is because it comes off as performative. Even if he's being completely genuine, even this video being lower quality compared to his usual crisp 4K 60 FPS content adds to that perception. I mean, good for him for trying to improve himself and all that, but the way he's documenting every step of it for everyone to see just feels performative for a lot of people. Yes, it's a positive that is using his platform to promote lifestyle improvements, but if he had disappeared for 1 to 2 years and then come back with a full timeline/time-lapse video of everything he's been working on, including his fashion brand, it would have been received way better. People would have been cheering, aside from the ones who are always going to hate. Despite a mix of negative backlash, Kai is still full steam ahead when it comes to his rebrand, appearing at Paris Fashion Week and showing off his journal of sketches. This was once again called performative by many commenters, which isn't surprising. He's still somehow in the top 10 most current subscribers on Twitch, even though he hasn't streamed in over 4 months. Although he is seemingly fine and unaffected by the negative press on the surface, it is notable that as of writing this, Kai has not posted in almost a month on his second self-improvement channel, perhaps due to how negatively that specific aspect of his brand was perceived. When it comes to Kai's future and whether this whole rebrand actually works, it really comes down to one simple question: does he mean it or not? If he's genuinely trying to grow and become something different, then over time, people will notice that. Even if he's lost some fans in the short term, real effort usually wins people back, and he could end up becoming the kind of creator he wants to be. Someone with more layers, more than just loud moments on stream. Kind of like how someone like Mr. Beast built an entire empire beyond just YouTube videos, and his clothing brand could still blow up either way. Kai has insane reach, and in fashion, a lot of success comes down to marketing, timing, and whether the designs actually connect with people. Being genuine helps, but at the end of the day, if the clothes are good and the brand catches a wave, it could take off regardless. He might actually have a real eye for that side of things. We just don't know yet. But the other side of this is just as possible. If this whole transformation turns out to be nothing more than dressed up viral marketing, then he risks losing something way more valuable than views. He risks losing trust. The fans that have been with him since the beginning could finally reach a point where they feel like the Kai they supported never really existed, or at least doesn't exist anymore, and that kind of damage is hard to fix. Once people decide you're not authentic, it sticks, and it could become a permanent stain on a reputation that's already been questioned for years. So really, this moment is kind of a turning point for him. He could come out of this more respected and more established than ever, or he could end up proving all the critics right. There's no way to know yet. The only thing that's going to answer that is time, and whether Kai's actions from here on actually match the version of himself he's trying to sell. And when a rebrand feels forced, the audience usually starts questioning everything else too. Kai easily the fakest human in streaming. Stop putting Kai Cenat on my timeline. I hate looking at stupid people. This dude Kai is honestly the most corporate and soulless streamer I have ever seen. Nothing he does is actually genuine. These are just a few of the countless tweets and comments reflecting how people feel about Kai Cenat in 2025. alive. But go back just a year ago, and he was celebrated as being the biggest streamer on the platform. Beloved for his generosity.
What you like to do? I just work. I be playing, bro. I be trying to stream too, but my PC? Yeah, bro.
We gonna get your PC then.
And admired for the genuine appreciation he showed for his fans.
Yo! What's good, bro?
This is my dream.
It's a dream?
Yeah! My boy!
I love you, man.
Kai! Yeah!
So what happened? How did Kai manage to fumble the mountains of audience goodwill he'd built up over the years and become so hated? Especially since he wasn't exposed for doing something horrendous like Dr. Disrespect, or ruined his reputation with deplorable stunts like Johnny Somali. Well, in Kai's case, his downfall is the result of many smaller missteps piling up over time. From his botched promises to build a school in Nigeria,
I want to do as much as I can to help you guys and just be able to make sure you guys get better classrooms and stuff like that. Whatever they tell me you guys need, we're gonna make sure you guys have good stuff, okay?
to the way he's been treating his fellow streamers as of late.
Wait, what? Kai's doing IRL? What?
All right, chat. I'm gonna go to the gym, bro. I don't even know what's going on. All right, I'm gonna see y'all boys, bro. I tried to set up attorney. I don't know.
And to top it all off, he's losing the relatability factor that made him popular in the first place, alienating his audience and turning them against everything he does. For a large portion of his current fans, Kai is someone who came out of nowhere and was dominating the streaming space in no time. To them, he was an overnight success, effortlessly outshining everyone else in the streaming world. This perception has led many, including Kanye West, to label him as nothing more than an industry plant.
You know, we out here stepping away from Adidas, like the shit that Kai sent somebody, that's some industry plant shit. He gonna be talking shit about my pants.
So he's an industry plant. He's an
of course he's the opposite, total fucking, that exact genre is the most industry plant.
However, while that's still a possibility, the idea that Kai came out of nowhere couldn't be further from the truth. Because in reality, Kai's been trying to become a successful content creator since 2015, when he was just 13 years old. He started with sketches and random videos on Facebook and Instagram before making his way to YouTube in 2018. He didn't see much growth in the years leading up to his YouTube debut, but that didn't stop him from trying again on a new platform. You see, Kai didn't see much financial stability growing up. He was raised by a single mother doing her best to make ends meet. Their family was even forced to stay at a homeless shelter at one point.
He was in the shelter, bro. I don't tell nobody that. I still have shelter sheets in my crib in New York.
So in his mind, making it big on the internet was his only chance at attaining a better life for himself and his family. And after a few more years of hard work, it paid off. He became close friends with another like-minded YouTuber named Phanom, which in turn allowed him to become part of the AMP group. This was a big break Kai had been looking for the past 5 years. He reached nearly 370,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and was consistently getting around 200,000 views per video. This growth also gave him the confidence to go all in and drop out of college the same year as well.
I officially dropped out of college. The college videos is what made this channel, I'm not even gonna lie. But let me tell y'all something, man. When you know that something is holding you back from getting to the next level, it's like you just have to sacrifice that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to miss college deal. But I just came to a realization that it was actually holding me back in the long run. Off camera, it was just stressing me out. Homework, having things coming on that time when I had to focus on you guys. If I know that my dream could work, I'm gonna put it before.
He later transitioned to live streaming on Twitch in February 2021, and it was only uphill from there. He rose through Twitch's ranks over the next couple of years, becoming a fairly well-known figure on the platform by 2023, with his viewership lying somewhere between 200,000 to 300,000 live viewers every stream. This, on its own, was insane growth for someone who essentially came from nothing and worked for years to reach this level. But just when people thought he'd reached his peak, Kai did something that skyrocketed his career to heights no one thought was possible. In January 2023, he began his month-long subathon called Mathiathon. This ended up becoming one of the biggest events in the platform's history, propelling Kai to become one of the most subscribed Twitch streamers of all time, with over 326,000 peak subs by the end of February. And while he lost this title to Iron Mouse a few months later, he came back even stronger with Mathiathon 2 in November of 2024, and ended up taking the #1 spot back with over 728,000 paid subs to his name.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Suffice it to say, Kai seemed unstoppable at this point. But fast forward to 2025, and the love and support people once had for Kai is eroding with every passing day. He is by no means a struggling creator when it comes to raw metrics. However, the general sentiment surrounding him tells a completely different story. Where he was once considered the ideal streamer, a classic case of making the right person famous, many on the internet now see him as someone who, quote, ruined a generation. Which brings us back to the question we posed in the beginning of this video. Why? As we briefly touched on earlier, Kai's downfall isn't the result of one massive controversy that tanked his career. Instead, it's the result of many smaller mistakes and a shift in his priorities, eroding the trust people had in him over time. Now, Kai has made plenty of blunders over the years, from teaming up with Mr. Beast to fake setting fireworks off inside his house, to getting temporarily banned from Twitch on 9 different occasions. Then there was the disaster he caused in New York City in August of 2023, when he promised an in-person PlayStation 5 giveaway to his millions of fans without any preparations. The result was a large unruly crowd that quickly turned into a full-blown riot.
New York police say Kai Cenat promised his more than 6 million Twitch followers that he would have free PlayStation 5s to give away at this event.
Kai was even arrested and charged with the crime of inciting a riot. However, while some of these missteps resulted in noticeable backlash, like when he invited convicted domestic abuser Chris Brown onto his stream during Mathiathon 2, or when he and his crew nearly ended the lives of 2 innocent animals during other streams, none of these mistakes really impacted his career in a negative way in the long run. In fact, things like the New York City riot and the subsequent headlines only brought more attention to him and his streams, allowing him to reach an even wider audience. Instead, the factors that are actually dragging down his reputation are far more recent. Most of them also center on the core idea of him being a fake poser, someone who only says and does what will push his content further. And there's no better example of this than his unfulfilled promises to build a school in one of the poorest regions of Nigeria. It all started in March of 2024, when Kai visited Nigeria and witnessed the terrible living conditions in the Makoko region. There he met the young man running a local school and orphanage. But with little to no resources, dozens of students were crammed into tiny classrooms, while the orphans had to sleep on mattresses laid across school desks. After seeing the state of this essential facility, Kai stepped up and pledged to help the area with a brand new school built to modern standards.
I'm going to help you today, okay? I want to do as much as I can to help you guys and just be able to make sure you guys get better classrooms and stuff like that. Whatever they tell me you guys need, we're going to make sure you guys have good stuff, okay?
In addition to improving hundreds of lives, this commitment also worked wonders for Kai's reputation, as evident from the top comments under this video, reading, "The fact that he actually went into the slums and helped out the school there makes me respect him so much more. I'm a 45-year-old man, and it brought tears to my eyes to see that 23-year-old man ask for things for his students instead of himself. My respect has grown immensely for Kai and this trip." But then, over a year passed by, and Kai did not share a single update on how the school building project was going. This led many to question if any work was being done at all, or if the promises he made on camera were nothing more than PR stunts. The doubt reached its tipping point in August 2025, when an account named KickChamp made a tweet stating, "A YouTuber checked on the school Kai Cenat promised to rebuild, only to find no no progress as it struggles to pay expenses and faces shutdown. The attached clip was from YouTuber Go With Ali, who visited Makoko a month earlier and featured a dilapidated school and orphanage in his video. An important thing to note here is that the facility shown in this video was completely unrelated to the one Kai promised to rebuild. KickChamp, whether by mistake or on purpose, framed it as if Ali was visiting the same school to highlight the supposed lack of progress. However, while the clip was misleading, the question this viral tweet brought up was not. Why hadn't Kai shared any update on the project he promoted over a year ago? What made the backlash from this even worse was the fact that Kai didn't donate a single penny to MrBeast's Team Water fundraiser, which promises a year of clean water for one person for every dollar donated. This is the biggest fundraiser MrBeast has ever done, with thousands of creators, including ourselves, not only donating, but also encouraging our communities to chip in as well. Kai, however, has remained radio silent on the matter. He didn't even pick up MrBeast's call when he tried to ask him about it during a charity stream.
See if he answers. Yeah, no answer. We tried, GG.
Aiden also offered to match Kai's donation 1-to-1 if he pledges $400,000 to the cause.
If Kai donates 400K, I'll go 400K. If Kai doesn't go 400K, I still got 100.
But this was met with the same silence from Kai as well, which, combined with the lack of updates on his personal charity project, does not look good for Kai. As a disappointed viewer puts it, first, he doesn't donate to Team Water, and now he's scamming his supporters, absolutely shameless. That said, there are many who defend Kai regarding the Team Water situation, pointing out that charity is and should always be completely voluntary, and MrBeast calling him out on stream to peer pressure him wasn't a good idea to begin with. On the other hand, however, are those who believe that Kai should have donated long before the situation reached this point, especially since he's more than happy to flaunt his wealth every chance he gets, and even got into an argument with XQC about which one of the two was richer.
And I know he gonna see this, and don't try that watch flexing shit with me, cause we can do whatever you wanna do. Watch for watch, house.
Oh no. Both hands in the air. I got AMP's entire net worth on the one USB stick in some safety deposit box somewhere, okay, buddy? We're not gonna go there.
But when it comes to giving money to a good cause, he's nowhere to be seen. Now, one valid reason some fans have brought up to explain Kai's absence from the Team Water charity is that he wants nothing to do with Aiden Ross, which is a whole can of worms that's also one of the reasons behind people calling him a fake poser. You see, while Kai was somewhat successful when he first started on Twitch, he was nowhere near the top dog he is now. Back then, Aiden Ross averaged nearly 45 times more viewers than Kai. This gap became smaller when Aiden started inviting Kai to his live dating shows. Each one of these invitations effectively functioned as a shout out from Aiden, allowing Kai to reach a much bigger audience and build a sizable community of his own. Eventually, Kai also started copying Aiden in content, with things like rapper streams, something Aiden had been doing for years at this point. But despite Kai becoming a direct competitor, both stayed good friends and even exchanged expensive gifts on occasions like their birthdays. Even when Aiden got banned from Twitch, Kai kept claiming that he'll make sure Aiden is unbanned as soon as possible.
If there's a way I can get Aiden unbanned by December, I would like to do some Christmas shit with him.
However, somewhere between that and when Aiden got unbanned in March of this year, Kai's opinion on Aiden changed completely. He went from genuinely trying to help his friend to capping about being happy for his unban.
Congratulations, that shit is so crazy. I hit him up.
Yeah, that's nuts. Cause I remember when Aiden texted Kai and was like, yo, could you say something about this? This is unfair. How her son get unbanned after one day for saying somebody should be killed, and I didn't get unbanned, and this nigga Kai didn't even reply to Aiden.
He started ignoring anything relating to Aiden.
W Kai, man, W Kai. Call Kai? I'm gonna call Kai. He's probably just in the middle of something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's streaming.
Yeah, that's cool.
W's!
chibi sticker of Kai.
And he even stopped picking up Aiden's calls in private when just a few years earlier, he was relentlessly pestering Aiden to include him in his streams. A fan summarized this perfectly on Twitter, stating, "So Kai completely tricked off of Aiden and now just acts like he doesn't exist. How weird, considering Aiden made Kai. The thing is, Aiden and his community don't have the best reputation at this point. There are many straight up racists in his chat who start throwing slurs anytime a black person appears on stream." Kai also claimed that he stopped talking to Aiden because his manager called him the N-word.
Tav is a white man, by the way. He proceeds to say, "From Nike to McDonald's, but bro, keep it real, bro. Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? Nigga, a chicken Big Mac, nigga? He on my phone calling me the N-word at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. You supposed to be a nigga manager and you, what's up with you?"
This response split the community into two. Those who believe that Kai is completely justified in distancing himself from Aiden over this, and the others who think that he should at least publicly acknowledge Aiden for his contributions to Kai's streaming career. To this second side, Kai looks like a total fake, someone who got what he wanted from Aiden, then jumped ship the moment things got rocky. Though at least Kai has a somewhat justifiable reason for ignoring Aiden. But when it comes to Jinxie, there was no excuse for what he did, which in turn only added more fuel to the hate coming his way. Jinxie, for those who don't know, is an immensely popular streamer who became big playing Rainbow Six Siege. But with Siege becoming more unpopular with each passing day, Jinxie decided to play some other games and eventually landed on a mobile game called Clash Royale. And that's where Kai and his AMP crew come in. In July of this year, he hit up Jinxie and asked him if he could set up a Clash Royale tournament for his stream. Jinxie agreed, but nothing could have prepared him for the disrespect he was about to receive. It started with the AMP boys straight up ignoring Jinxie when he was trying to explain how to set things up.
Now, go to social and then go to invite friend. It's a yellow button. Click that and then you copy the
Anybody in the chat want him?
What do you mean by your account?
Anybody?
What do you
Oh,
choose
your player name. He's single. Anybody in the chat want him? Anybody single in the chat? My
what the fuck are you? What the fuck are you talking about?
Chris, dead ass.
Want my mans?
Chris, dead ass. Are you dead ass right now?
I don't want to battle, chat.
But if that wasn't bad enough, Kai somehow forgot about the tournament completely and started doing some IRL streaming instead, something Jinxie only found out when his chat told him about it, resulting in him getting disappointed and ending the stream.
Wait, what? Kai's doing IRL? What? All right, chat. I'm gonna go to the gym, bro. I don't even know what's going on. All right, I'm gonna see y'all boys, bro. I tried to set up attorney. I don't know.
The least Kai could have done was inform Jinxie about the change of plans and apologize for wasting his time, but he didn't bother even telling him about it. This sparked an immediate wave of backlash, with Kai's own viewers spamming L's in the chat. Only then did he notice and try to fix things, but by that point, it was already too late.
Al Kai, what am I doing? Why does it say Al Kai? No, tell Jinxie. Matter of fact, no. Okay, yeah. I'm going to Jinxie, bro. He got out for real? Jinxie ended for real? Oh God.
Not only was this incredibly disrespectful to Jinxie, it also further reinforced the idea of Kai being a fake who doesn't deserve the love and support he once had. Think of it this way, if Kai genuinely cared about the people around him, he would have never left Jinxie hanging like this. Instead, he's a fake who only cares about his viewership, which is why he only responded when his own chat turned against him. That said, Kai choosing to ignore inconvenient stuff until his own chat calls him out on it isn't a new thing. Remember the unbuilt Nigerian school we discussed earlier? Well, as it turned out, Kai did give a response. According to him, the school is being worked on. However, the location makes the construction a lot more difficult than originally anticipated, and that it would now take more than 2 years to build the school. Alongside this, he also showed a clip of the work being done on location.
They are working very hard right now, removing what gotta be removed and like getting the school ready and shit.
The only issue with this response is that it only came after the backlash reached his own fandom and became a direct risk to his viewership and income. Would he have stayed silent if people didn't demand the truth so intently? Another example of him ignoring the issue until he received backlash was when XQC called out the botting problem on his close friends' streams. You see, some of their streams went from averaging less than 1,000 views one day to over 60,000 the next, which, as XQC puts it, doesn't add up.
When the number is like that, it's just no good. Like it's not, and you compare some of these other guys, sometimes, yeah, it's what, like, it's up and it just doesn't add up. That's motion, brother. 37% validated viewer? Bro, 30% validated viewer? I mean, you have to be kidding me, right? Brother, that's less than 30%. Bro, that's 31% validation.
For those who don't know, a validated viewer is someone who is logged in with a proper account and is much less likely to be a bot. Unvalidated viewers, on the other hand, are ones that watch a stream without ever logging in. Typically, the number of unvalidated viewers is very low for most streamers. Let's take Kai's own Mafiathon 3 stream as an example, where less than 18,000 out of the 123,000 are unvalidated. This is normal. In contrast, nearly 70% of Rakai's viewers during the stream XQC mentioned were unvalidated and almost certainly bots. Now, XQC didn't accuse Rakai of purchasing bot views to inflate his own numbers. It could be a viewer who just wants to see Rakai become more popular, or anyone else really. However, streamers can easily see this discrepancy in their statistics. So even if he didn't buy the bot viewers himself, Rakai, and by extension Kai, should have resolved the issue on their own, or at least talked about it. But in typical Kai fashion, he chose to ignore the issue until XQC pointed it out, then got angry at him for it, and after receiving backlash, responded with a yap session that didn't include any rational arguments.
I'm gonna be honest, this is no bias, this is nothing off aggression, this is nothing off negativity. It looked like you eating, gang. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny or mean. I'm gonna go ahead and say it looked like eating just a little bit, and I'm kind of tired of like holding the whole road because I feel like the more I hold, it's not the first time. This is how it looked, Felix. This is me talking to Felix. This is me not really being on some shit. It looked like you eating because it's like it's a pattern. It's like something is going good on this side. Like you saying got to say. And then when you say it and I say something, it's you was joking.
As one commenter puts it, attacking the person instead of the argument is a sign of defeat. However, ignoring alleged bot viewers on his inner circle streams, avoiding accountability until receiving backlash, and leaving Jinxie hanging are just symptoms of a bigger problem, which, as we've discussed so far, is how fake has become for many of his viewers. Where he once represented the everyman, hanging out and having fun with his friends on camera, he's now a corporatized entity trying to bridge the streaming and traditional celebrity culture. To many of his longtime viewers, everything he says or does at this point feels rehearsed. His laugh and reactions seem less genuine and geared more towards farming clips and viral moments.
Yo, I'm gonna be in shape by December.
Fans even joke about him having a stylist for not just his fashion, but everything from his taste in music to the way he reacts to certain situations. Something that sounds absurd until you see him awkwardly standing with a smile at an NBA YoungBoy concert, someone he's supposed to be a big fan of. Now, credit where credit's due, this fakeness has actually helped him match the vibe of any celebrity who comes to his stream, making them actually fun and enjoyable for the viewers watching for the celeb. But for the viewers who came looking for the Kai they started watching years ago, the current landscape is nothing but disappointing. This disappointment manifests as anger online, thus explaining the noticeable uptick in Kai Cenat hate. Which begs the question, how will all this end? His viewership doesn't seem affected for now. Mafiathon 3 is still pulling tens of thousands of viewers, and his YouTube videos are performing just as well. But that's the thing about slow, steady reputational damage like the kind Kai is facing. It doesn't tank a career overnight. Instead, it gradually makes people stop caring about the person they once supported. And without word of mouth or hype to bring in new viewers, it's only a matter of time before Kai starts to fade into obscurity and someone else takes his place as the hot new streamer. That said, he still has plenty of time to get his act together and win back most of his loyal viewers. But Kai's backlash still looks mild compared to streamers who seem addicted to making the worst possible choices. For any sane person, being compared to Jack Doherty is a fate worse than accidentally defecating in public, or even worse than getting cancelled by the entire internet. But for this looks-maxing kick streamer, that seems to be the goal. After all, now that Jack is fading into obscurity, someone has to take his mantle, and Clavicular looks like he's up for the challenge. He's gone from mocking people's physical appearances.
Her mid-face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds, horrible total facial width to height ratio, just really bad age indicators, but obviously at 30, that's not something really that's gonna surprise me.
To harassing women in public during his IRL streams.
It's with the pants, bro.
Oh wait, you should do the Jester Max dance in the fucking store.
All right, check this out.
All right, bet. Wait, go pop. Wait, Wando, don't run. Dude, this is movie quality. Oh my god.
Oh, let's fucking go, bro.
And openly trying to persuade others to abuse drugs.
And I would say the trend is quite positive, and most of the copes that you read on the internet and like Reddit r/steroids are just completely wrong, right? So it's like Tren has a reputation for being extremely unhair safe, extremely bad for your organs, and some of the stuff is just either blown out of proportion or just comically wrong, right?
The question is, will he actually reach the level of infamy Jack Doherty once enjoyed, or will his degenerate habits force him into an early retirement? While Clavicular, or Clav, might be one of the more controversial influencers online today, his early content was surprisingly harmless. Born on December 17th, 2005, the then 16-year-old first appeared on TikTok in October 2021, and like many others his age, his content was just him performing trending TikTok dances. However, something about his appearance, which didn't quite line up with his age, made him stand out among the sea of broccoli haircuts, a distinction that planted the earliest seeds for what his entire brand would eventually become. Because over the next couple of years, Clav's content shifted dramatically. He moved away from the TikTok dances and into a far more concerning territory, looks maxing. If you're not familiar with the term, looks maxing is essentially about doing anything possible to increase one's physical attractiveness. This includes soft maxing, non-invasive practices like moisturizing, getting a haircut, or hitting the gym, and hard maxing, which takes things to a much more extreme level, involving risky cosmetic surgeries, such as limb lengthening procedures. And Clav was all in from the get-go. He leaned heavily into the reckless side of this culture and began sharing the flat-out dangerous enhancements he'd already done to his own body in hopes of becoming a life coach for his viewers. He'd talk about the insane reason he started injecting himself with testosterone when he was just 14 years old.
Was there a specific moment that you remember where you were like, yeah, I'm just gonna hop on testosterone, like when you're 14?
Just really taking a look at, what was possible and in terms of time frame. I wanted to get to my goals as quickly as possible, right? Because I always thought the idea of, telling people you work out and talking about all this stuff, but you're not big, to be just kind of ridiculous. It's like, dude, what are you actually getting after? So I was like, I'm gonna get my physique going as quickly as possible. I do not care about side effects. I don't care about any implications of, oh, this guy's using drugs. Like, none of that shit really fazed me.
To add to that, he has also admitted to using bone smashing techniques during his teen years, a practice where people intentionally create microfractures in their facial bones using a hammer, hoping to develop a sharper jawline.
I'm trying to do with bone smashing, what my goal of it is to simulate more zygomatic, prominence, right? So more projection. So what I do is I use the swelling to my advantage. So I'll bone smash, and then I will cover up the inflammation with makeup. That way, people perceive my zygos as being a lot bigger from the bone, but not the swelling itself. So that's how I use it and make it dope.
The logic behind this is based on Wolff's Law, which states that bones adapt to the stress placed on them, which some bone smashers interpret as meaning bones grow back stronger once healed. But according to certified medical professionals, none of this is backed by science. And in extreme cases, it can even lead to airway obstruction, suffocation, and blindness. Even aside from the medical risks, doing this at such a young age could have long-term consequences, and it's likely he'll start feeling the effects by the time he reaches his late 20s. But the way Clav tells it, all of these borderline self-harm behaviors were necessary because of how awkward he looked in his early teen years. Between 2023 and 2024, Clav also branched out to YouTube. Some videos covered his own self-proclaimed ascension as a looks maxer, while others pushed questionable advice on how his viewers could try following in his footsteps.
And I would say the trend is quite positive, and most of the copes that you read on the internet and like Reddit r/steroids are just completely wrong, right? So it's like Tren has a reputation for being extremely unhair safe, extremely bad for your organs, and some of the stuff is just either blown out of proportion or just comically wrong, right?
During this period, he also frequently collaborated with other looks maxing coaches, often to criticize soft maxing and push his audience towards the far more extreme hard maxing route, which included videos like Looks Maxing Lies Exposed featuring Clavicular, where he rattled off niche scientific terms to dismiss any so-called hoaxes surrounding looks maxing.
There's just no real way to replicate distraction osteogenesis with your thumbs. That's an absurd thing to claim. It needs to be done with a traditional orthodontic appliance.
This enabled him to create an aura of objectivity and legitimacy around himself, and once he'd built that identity, he took things even further, in a way he still gets criticized for today. He launched his own paid online course called The Clavicular System, where he claims to offer personalized one-on-one coaching using a data-driven framework designed to help his followers surpass their quote genetic potential. Alongside this course, he launched a school community called Clavicular's Clan, which followers can join for $49 a month. Inside this community, Clav promises 100 plus advanced courses on looks maxing, nootropics, pharmacology, social dominance, and weekly Zoom calls, all marketed as a tool to help his followers ascend to their body's limits, just like he claims he did. And as worrying as that sounds, it gets worse, because the community already has 1,400 members, all of whom have signed on to take advice from a teenager with no formal training, no credentials, and no real understanding of the risks involved. Yet, despite that, he's already built an intense level of devotion among his young male fanbase. You can see it all over his Reddit community, where posts like this are common. Since no one else is going to say it, I will. Clav is the new poster boy for Sigma males to look up to. He's the embodiment of a Sigma and everything they believe in, and he's only going to get bigger as time goes on. It's time to acknowledge his success. By the end of 2024, Clav had generated a substantial amount of influence among the looks maxing community, which only skyrocketed after he made his breakout streaming debut in 2025. It happened on November 10th, when Clav randomly collaborated with Aiden Ross on Kick. The stream itself was fairly standard. The two connected over Discord, played some games, and discussed each other's content. But for Clav, the exposure was massive. He was suddenly in front of a brand new audience, many of them within the exact age range his content speaks to. As a result, his popularity exploded practically overnight, which set the stage for his true breakout moment a few days later, an IRL stream with the controversy magnate himself, Jack Doherty. At first, everything between the two of them seemed oddly calm, but it didn't stay that way for long. Soon, the stream devolved into a cringy confrontation.
You.
Hey, why? You think your girlfriend's more than her?
No.
Why?
Definitely not.
No, his girlfriend's in college, bro. She's getting nice. She's getting. Aiden Ross is in there right now. I'm joking.
You are kind of kid the way you.
But you said though.
I do think that they're.
Like I gotta stick up for them too, you know. They're my friends, you know.
He thought that pair's stupid.
Oh, were we recording the whole time? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect your girlfriend. You disrespected the girls, bro. It's fair game, bro. It's like. You can't disrespect like the girls I'm with and then not expect to get the girls you're with get disrespected as well.
But while that wasn't particularly shocking, since chaos is basically Jack's brand, what did catch viewers off guard was the fact that despite being one of the most hated people online, Jack wasn't the one in the wrong here.
The reason I never responded to any of the podcast stuff or anything was because like literally like the very next post they did was an OF promo. I've actually never gone through I was in a relationship for like over 2 years. I never went through her phone once.
This is what you do. This is what you do. You just ask to do it, and if she hands it over, you don't even have to look.
But I never even asked to do it. Actually, I think one time I did. Because my chat was like saying like, oh, she DM'd someone. And like, I wanted to see if she did, but she didn't.
Things escalated to a point where Clav just got up and left the stream.
I wish things could have went a little better.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, bro, I never like meant to come off like that. Like,
I'd be
like, I know you didn't mean to come off like that either to the girls. You know, it's just like it's content at the end of the day. We can't sit there and be boring and just chat about like what colors of sky or whatever the fuck. You know, it's like.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be willing to try it out another day, but it's not good.
So you're fine, man.
I'll be in touch with you. Have a good time.
Right.
Take care of yourself.
You have a blessed day, man.
And for what was probably the first time in his entire career, social media overwhelmingly sided with Jack, with comments like, "I'm actually surprised Jack wasn't in the wrong here," and "Bro talks crazy to other people, then when the energy is returned to him, he's hurt." But despite the hit to his reputation, this controversy, along with the exposure to Jack's much larger audience, ended up boosting Clav's streaming career tremendously. From there, his rise was incredibly fast, because just 2 weeks into his streaming career, Clav started hitting a couple of major milestones, the kind that would take most creators years to achieve. One of the biggest of these was when he broke Kick's platform record for the most donations in a single stream, claiming he pulled in $35,000 from viewers in one night. But what shocked people the most was when he showed off the $50,000 he'd earned after just his first week of streaming on Kick. During that same stretch, his combined following across Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter also shot past 500,000. And unfortunately for everyone who's already found him unbearable, Clav only got bigger from there. He even dipped into a controversial side of IRL streaming he clearly picked up from someone he claims he doesn't like, but more on that later. For now, we need to talk about a different controversy, one that didn't just amplify his reach, but also cranked up the intensity of his already explosive commentary towards women. This took place on November 20th, when Clav appeared on the Fresh and Fit podcast, the same manosphere pair known for bringing on panels of female OF models just to debate them on why they deserve less. During this episode, one of the hosts, Myron Gaines, handed the reins directly to Clav, asking him to rate and critique the women at the table using his obnoxious pseudoscientific breakdowns. And Clav didn't hesitate for a second, resulting in a viral clip of him tearing into the model's appearances.
So she got 3.5. Why and how can she improve?
Well, her mid face is way too long. Obviously, she's got the jowls coming in, horrible nasolabial folds. Horrible total facial width to height ratio. Just really bad age indicators, but obviously at 30, that's not something really that's going to surprise me. Her upper maxilla is super recessed, horrible infraorbitals. That's why your under eyes are coming in like hell. Really recessed chin. All the facial convexities are wrong. Her radix is recessed. Moving on. Okay, well, how much time do we have on the podcast?
And while he did get some applause from the podcast's viewers, who felt that he put the women in their place, there were plenty of others who weren't buying into the idea that Clav magically became an authority just because he uses complicated scientific language. Some even labeled him the Gen Z Patrick Bateman, while others pointed out the absurdity of his behavior. It's funny how this kid is 19 years old and yet everyone around him treats him like an authority/big brother figure because the steroids aged him so much. But that wasn't the end of Clav's involvement with Fresh and Fit. Just a few days later, he returned to debate Myron on why looks matter more than money or status in dating, delivering arguments that revealed just how immature his worldview really is.
But the other thing I'll say is, even if you do triple your income, which is, going to be unrealistic for most people from 25 to 35, tripling your income is not going to offset that disparity in terms of how far you've digressed in your looks, right? Because say you make $100,000 at 25 and you're at the peak of your looks, and then you start making $300,000 with all the decline in age, at 35 you're right? So that's why waiting that long is going to be at serious detriment to most people. Not like literally 99% of people will not in 10 years be able to overcome
they're aging with, you know, status and money. That's just not a realistic thing.
One comment perfectly summed up the issue with Clav's reasoning. It's like they can use logic and articulate themselves well, but somehow still come to the wrong conclusions in my opinion. Keep in mind, these guys are talking about the general population and using dating app statistics. If you want to avoid these issues, you need to look in the right environments. They treat like a way to level up and ascend when you're actually doing the opposite by trying to get 50 bodies before marriage. This ideology is just absurd, and I will never understand it. However, the moment that made the most noise around Clav's so-called objective rating system was when he rated Michael B. Jordan a 3.5 out of 10.
Facially, we're talking about the face. What would you rate Michael B. Jordan? Because you know, let me tell you something. A lot of girls I know, they really like Michael B. Jordan for whatever reason.
I can tell you the reason. It's the fact that he's rich and famous, right? In terms of facial aesthetics, he's far below average. I would say that he's about 4 out of 10, maybe 3.5. Wow. Super facially challenged, very aesthetically disfortunate. So Michael B. Jordan is not a mogger and not good looking at all.
This sparked a huge wave of conversations about whether Clav genuinely believes his pseudoscientific explanations, or if he was just rage baiting for clout, with one comment summing up exactly why people were starting to have doubts about his system, but he rated Neon a 5. Because Neon getting a higher rating wasn't some random occurrence. Clav had to become close with the Kick streamer, going live with him regularly throughout mid-November.
So what? So I'm an incel?
You were, but now you ascended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore though, right?
Yeah, no, you're not anymore. Did you just see? You got a bunch of numbers and shit. You literally look like 2 points better already.
So I'm a 5 out of 10 now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Easy 5 out of 10. You guys see that ascension? That's crazy.
Even in those streams, Clav found ways to redirect attention towards himself through more face rating breakdowns, clips that quickly went viral.
How many surgeries do you think I had?
I don't think that's a surgery, but I know you had lip filler. I know you have Botox.
Okay, yeah, I have lip filler and Botox, okay.
And it looks like you might have had, you had filler in your cheeks too. It's migrating down your face.
Realizing how much these collaborations were fueling his rise, Clav kept going, appearing in even more streams throughout November, including multiple sessions with Aiden Ross, and several IRL streamers with UK influencer Ed Matthews, who he also befriended. But while his popularity kept climbing, viewers also began seeing more and more red flags, starting with his alarming drug abuse problem. The first real sign of trouble came during a stream with Aiden Ross, where Clav casually recommended Ozempic for weight loss, even claiming it would increase Aiden's lifespan.
Yeah, but dude, like, why don't you just get on Ozempic? Like, you know, it makes no sense. Why are you trying to do so much hard work? You know?
Wait, so like, you're saying I should get on Ozempic?
Yeah, bro, why? Take the fucking easy way out. People are like, such and they're like, oh, dude, like, you know, it's the hard work that matters.
People go blind, though.
No, that's like, I'm pretty sure like 3 people. That's really powerful and it's way safer. It'll actually increase your lifespan.
He also openly promoted TRT and anabolic steroids as completely harmless, dismissing decades of medical concerns as nothing more than fear-mongering.
I haven't heard any good objective arguments as to why, you know, testosterone isn't ideal for people. It seems like a lot of misinformation and like a lot of the guys who do like the carnivore natural like promotion of that lifestyle, it's all like a red pill, like, you know, stupid grift to look like cool and masculine, but it's not. It's just retarded. It's anti-science.
Yeah.
You're living in the past if you're not on steroids, in my opinion.
So people that don't take steroids, you're saying, are living in the past?
Absolutely, yeah.
However, what truly alarmed viewers was Aiden confirming, live on stream, Clav's extreme drug habits, calling it something he'd never seen before.
Now, I will tell you guys the real truth. I don't know if I'm being a fucking snitch. I've never seen someone snort ever in real life. I literally witnessed Clav snort. Literally. Witnessed it. And I didn't know how to feel. I did not know how to feel. I've never seen that ever.
Since then, Clav has publicly admitted to using methamphetamines as a pre-workout stimulant and appetite suppressant. And as if that wasn't enough, he's also openly talked about taking various other substances as part of his beauty routine.
What drugs do you take in a day?
I'm taking testosterone every single day. I take minoxidil for my hair. I take dutasteride for my hair. I take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal meth as a stimulant and Tolene Max. It's much more mild than Adderall, actually, and I'm pretty much using meth for hollow cheeks.
He's even admitted to sniffing creatine to get through streams.
I like for streaming, I like CNS stimulants. Like I like it's probably the best. But for actually doing like task-oriented things on a computer, it's a little bit different. So there's not a lot of times where I'm actually ripping like to stream. I would say that's usually me on.
On top of all of this, he's also alluded to injecting himself 3 times a day with a tanning peptide called NC2, plus testosterone, human growth hormone, and an entire list of peptides.
Jack, you should start taking. It gets you really tan.
It's like a supplement.
A pep.
It's just like a tan.
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. No way you do that.
Yeah.
Just go to like a tanning street. Even that's okay. Going to a tanning booth. Just like step outside.
Well, that gives you cancer, bro.
The sun?
Yeah.
So what does those needles give you? Like hepatitis?
No, nothing like that. Not if you're sanitary with it.
But I was saying, like, you gotta inject yourself with.
Probably like 3 per day.
Wow. Like what?
Testosterone.
Oh, I used to take HGH.
However, despite the obvious dangers of injecting himself with so many potentially dangerous compounds, Clav claims to have 0 regrets about it.
If you could go back in time, would you still take test at 14 years old?
Absolutely, yeah. So everything I did, no regrets, right? So I'm 100% confident that I made the right decision in my life. And I'm so glad that I look a little bit more mature, than I actually am in terms of my age. Because it's helped me a lot. We could talk about, some of the jobs that I've worked and the respect that I've gained from just having a little bit more presence in my life from, some of the pharmaceuticals I've taken. Literally the best thing that anyone could do.
In his warped perspective, pharmaceutical drugs are the future, and there's no reason not to take them. But as concerning as the drug use already is, Clav hasn't stopped doubling down, because he recently also revealed to the list of risky cosmetic surgeries he plans to get in December to increase his presence, which includes a double jaw surgery costing $35,000.
Clav, why are you getting a double jaw surgery?
I am getting a double jaw surgery due to the fact that I know the amount of money that I'm investing will pay itself off to a huge degree, right? So it's $35,000 for a double jaw surgery and with full facial implants. And I decided upon this before I did social media.
And a leg lengthening surgery to increase his height.
Call yourself very reasonable about what's accomplishable. Why are you spending $100,000 on surgery to go from 6'2" to 6'6"?
That is more about just presence, right? I've always valued presence super, super highly, right? You walk into a room, people notice, right? You're standing in the middle of a club, you're an outlier, right? That to me, just because people will come up to me, they'll say, oh, well, 6'2", that's already very tall. But in terms of percentiles, it's only 91st percentile, right? 6'6", we get to 99.
And while those comments alone sparked plenty of debate, one moment managed to unite almost his entire fan base against him. It happened during a stream on November 22, when Clav injected his at the time 17-year-old girlfriend with cosmetic peptides live on camera.
Here in Tel Aviv, if you ever want to party.
Dude, I can already see the clips. Clav injects meth on a... Think they're going crazy.
Chat, we're looks maxing her. It's all good. Dr. Clav?
He described the injection as a fat-reducing compound meant to contour her cheeks. But all viewers saw was a grown adult performing an illegal, untrained medical procedure on a minor. As you might imagine, the outrage was instant and intense, with many even calling for Clav to be jailed for this. Yeah, this is illegal practice of medicine on a minor. He'll likely be charged once police become aware and take action. But what disturbed people even more was how clearly influenced and impressionable his young underage girlfriend seemed. This was proven further when the internet uncovered another worrying clip, where Clav tries to convince her to drop out of college to prove she's the one for him.
If you want me to take you seriously, you would have to drop school and, I'll take care of you.
I'm gonna drop out of college.
If you want me to take you seriously.
I mean, I don't know.
If you want to be the one, if you want me to actually take care of you and all that kind of stuff, you gotta drop school,
And if that wasn't enough to make people question his authority, his IRL behavior definitely pushes things over the edge. It all started with a heated encounter near the end of November, when a stream sniper tracked him down during a IRL broadcast. Instead of brushing it off, Clav ended up hurling homophobic slurs at him while threatening to break his face.
What?
I'm not stream sniping.
You're not stream sniping?
Oh God, we just seen it.
Okay.
Oh God, I live here.
On God, you're the biggest faggot ever. And the only reason that, you know, I wouldn't slap the shit out of you is because I actually have things for you to take. Okay? I have assets for you to sue me for.
Wait, did he ask for lip smacks?
No. He didn't ask for it. But if I didn't have any assets for you to sue me for, I'd break that jaw in half. I'm telling you right now.
The stream sniper then challenged him to a boxing match at brand risk, a challenge Clav immediately refused while continuing to throw threats his way.
I just told you.
Go on brand risk.
Go on brand risk. I will break your mandible in half.
Let's do it.
No, I don't even.
Let's do it.
I will break your mandible in half. But I actually have assets for you to steal.
Bro, you're made of plastic. Let's do it.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
Get the fuck out of my face right now.
Brand risk.
The fuck out of my face. Brand risk? Are you fucking insane? Who even are you? You're a nobody. Okay, so keep doing your videos, bud.
The clips of this incident split the audience into two camps. Some criticized the stream sniper for clout chasing, while others condemned Clav for the slurs and threats, pointing out that someone who positions himself as a life coach should probably act like one. And that's the core issue. Clav is only 19. He's not a role model. He's a teenager pretending to lead other teenagers. It's basically the blind leading the blind. It also doesn't help that more clips surfaced showing him using racial slurs.
We're gonna go acapella.
Just give me an excuse to say, you know?
He and his friends have repeatedly been caught harassing random women during IRL streams.
Check this out.
Alright, bet. Wait, go follow. Wait, Wando, don't run. Dude, this is movie quality. Oh my God.
Oh. Let's fucking go, bro. We're viral as fuck. Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Oh shit. Is that bad?
Yeah, you cannot do that.
Okay, fuck that.
Behavior that looks almost identical to Jack Doherty's, and might even result in the same kind of real-world consequences. Yet Clav seems unfazed. In fact, he may have taken things even further, because on December 3rd, while partying on a yacht with influencer Ed Matthews, Ed might have just exposed Clav for secretly running an OF agency.
It's on stream, however, we got some non-OnlyFans things right now. Clav's trying to recruit them, but I mean, bro, I've been there. When I was 19, I was doing OnlyFans management. And you know what? I just thought I'd only ever get a thing that's actually on it, because the things that don't do it, they fuck up that fucking shit.
Although he didn't confirm it, you can see from his reaction that there's probably some truth to what Ed is saying. Unsurprisingly, this came off as massively hypocritical, especially since Clav had spent a full Fresh and Fit episode lecturing and mocking the exact type of women. One comment even dragged Myron Gaines into it, stating, "Myron Gaines, pretty sad your boy Clavicular is an OF pimp. Bring the truth out of people, and your boy Clav definitely looks uncomfortable when Ed is exposing how he really makes his money," while another comment seemingly confirmed the allegation even further, by stating, "He's banning anyone in chat bringing it up, lol, tells you everything you need to know." For now, it seems like Clav is still living his best life, at least on the surface. In the month of November itself, Clav managed to gain over 49,000 followers on Kick, while his Instagram follow account surged to over 100,000, and his TikTok is past the 500,000 mark, which is worrying, because the more influence he gains, the more young viewers will feel encouraged to copy these dangerous habits, not realizing that he either has no understanding on the long-term consequences of his own actions, or knows everything and is just pushing it all under the rug to sell more courses. That said, Clav's eventual downfall seems like an inevitability at this point, because as of making this video, Clav has also started regularly collaborating with Sneeko, which has resulted in some even more concerning moments, including one of him taking what looks to be nose creatine live on stream and immediately becoming erratic. he still has a chance to turn things around if he starts making some smarter choices. But given everything we've seen so far, that doesn't seem likely at this point. And sometimes one moment on stream is enough to turn a reputation into a disaster. In the world of live streaming, a career often takes years to build. It requires thousands of hours of dedication and a relentless grind to stand out and capture an audience. But whilst it can take a decade to build an empire on Twitch, we have witnessed time and time again that it only takes a single moment for it to all be destroyed. One slip up, one lapse in judgment, or even one forgotten notepad window, and the entire house of cards can come tumbling down. On the 22nd of January 2026, a popular Twitch streamer known as Lakari was live in front of his audience, doing what he has done for over a decade. He was playing League of Legends, entertaining thousands of viewers, and living the dream of being a mid to high tier streamer. However, within 5 seconds, everything changed. While multitasking, he accidentally opened a notepad file that revealed something incredibly dark and possibly extremely illegal. This split-second moment wasn't just something embarrassing, but something that would set the internet ablaze and completely destroy his career and possibly even his life. And if it wasn't for the file opening in the first place that did it, it was his reaction afterwards. But to fully understand the depth and depravity of the situation, we first have to learn about who Lakari is in the first place. Prior to the recent events that transpired, Lakari was a celebrated figure in the gaming world. His journey began over a decade ago in 2012, a time when the online streaming world was only just becoming a thing. It's also worth noting that Lakari was by no means an overnight success. Like many, he started small and stayed small for over 5 years, as it wasn't until 2017 when he truly began to carve out his own space in the online world, not just as a gamer, but as a personality. Lakari was known as a speedrunner and a highly skilled player across a variety of difficult and competitive games such as League of Legends, Genshin Impact, and Tekken. Over the next few years, Lakari didn't simply play games, but he began networking with other more established streamers. Throughout the 2020s, Lakari had established himself as a mid to high tier streamer on Twitch, with his channel averaging around 1,500 concurrent viewers, with peak viewership going above 10,000 viewers during major streams. He also successfully integrated himself into one of the most powerful social circles in the Twitch streaming industry, the Austin-based streamer ecosystem. He became a regular guest on Asmongold's streams and entered the orbit of major creators like Mizkif and Esfand. These collaborations enabled Lakari to cement his status as not just a random streamer, but as a genuine friend and collaborator of the gaming organization OTK. The association was strong enough that by May 2023, during a Mizkif stream, Lakari jokingly unofficially joined OTK in chat, solidifying his place in the group's lore.
I'll join, pay me. Okay, Lakari's on OTK. That's the announcement, chat. Lax on OTK. That's it. That was the announcement for today. Lax on OTK. That was easy. All right, Lax, I'll pay him. That was easy. He's on. He did it.
In the extremely volatile world of content creation, this was truly the sweet spot. He was essentially living the dream, playing video games for a living and earning lucrative income, yet without the suffocating levels of fame that makes a normal life impossible. He had the friends, the clout, and the stability that millions of aspiring creators chase, but often never catch. He had spent 15 years building the perfect life, but it would only take 5 seconds to undo all that work. The 22nd of January 2026 started just like any other day for Lakari. He was live on Twitch grinding League of Legends just as he had done countless times before. To the thousands watching, it was just another stream from their favorite streamer. A moment during this stream, however, would completely change everything. While attempting to multitask, Lakari opened Windows Notepad and revealed something deeply disturbing. In the past, this action would have been harmless. However, a recent Windows update has introduced a new feature that displays a history of recently opened files and tabs directly within the Notepad app. As the Notepad window popped up on the stream, it didn't just show a blank page. For a few seconds, it displayed a list of URLs and file names that Lakari had previously accessed.
Let me at least add Wade to the list of champions that I like. Fuck?
For obvious reasons, I can't show exactly what the notepad contained on YouTube, but it contained file names and links with suggestive words involving minors, animals, and other clearly illegal themes. The reaction was instantaneous. While Lakari continued to sit in his chair acting like nothing had happened, the clip was already being captured, cut, and uploaded onto pages such as r/livestreamfail, Twitter, and even Kiwi Farms. Within minutes of the clip being spread, internet detectives began investigating the links visible and confirmed the nature of the material. What they found was said to be extremely disturbing, to say the least. When watching the clip closely, there is a distinct split second where Lakari seems to realize the gravity of the mistake. His expression shifts rapidly as he looks at the notepad window and the contents within, followed by a moment of pure silent panic where the realization probably hit that he may have just ruined his life. Yet, in a move that baffled everyone watching, he didn't end the stream. Despite the visible panic and the chat beginning to spiral, Lakari continued streaming, choosing to stay live and respond to the situation in real time. This decision would unfold about as well as you would expect, turning into a complete disaster. During the stream, Lakari attempted to laugh off the situation as if it was a minor misunderstanding, pun intended. His chat, however, were no longer interested in the game, but instead were fixated on the suspicious notepad file, specifically one tab that had been spotted labeled 1500 JBT files. According to the livestream fail subreddit, JBT stood for Jailbait Teens. Lakari's response to the whole situation was a frantic series of excuses that only served to incriminate himself even further. His initial defense was to claim that someone had linked the file in his chat, implying that he was a victim of a bad click. This explanation fell apart instantly under scrutiny, as it failed to explain why he had seemingly saved the content into a dedicated notepad file on his hard drive, let alone one with such a specific and incriminating file name. Once Lakari realized that narrative wasn't going to convince his audience, he pivoted to a second, even less believable excuse. He claimed the file had automatically downloaded while he was browsing the web.
Did I not deny that I didn't download shit? I didn't know what was in there.
Don't be sad that your career is over. Be happy that IT happened. XQCL. Don't be sad that your career is over. Be happy that IT happened. XQCL. Jesse vindicated. Jesse vindicated. Jesse vindicated.
How does it end up there? Okay, let me explain what happened. All right, I was surfing a site. Okay, the shit got downloaded. I didn't trigger a download, just got downloaded. I opened up the text document. I saw what was in it. I deleted the text document. I deleted it. But the problem with Windows 11 is that even if you delete the text document, it apparently still stays there. So it was still there after I deleted it. I've told you guys 1,000 times that's what happened. Dude, I'm sorry. I have a fucking 3 terabytes of fucking hentai on my hard drive, bro. A lot. Sometimes you go to a site, some shit downloads on your shit, you don't fucking want it, you fucking delete it, and that's just what happened, man. Okay? That's what happened. I'm sorry, all right? I don't know how many times I have to explain this, but that's what happened. Dude, let's just move the fuck on, please.
As his audience immediately pointed out, if modern web browsers were silently auto-downloading text files full of illegal URLs without user consent, it would be a global cybersecurity crisis, not an isolated glitch on one streamer's PC. Whilst this already seemed like rock bottom, Lakari would only continue to dig his grave when the chat pressured him to open his recent files list in Notepad again to prove his innocence. Lakari agreed, likely hoping to show the incriminating files were gone. Instead, he revealed a screen that looked like a panic-induced cover-up. The suspicious document was still there, but it was now buried under a list of freshly created empty files named New Text Document, and one of the files involving JBT was also somehow missing.
Fat for Fun? Fat for Fun is a Thai site.
The internet immediately saw right through it, with viewers on Reddit mocking the attempt of covering it up. As one user put it, he was trying to hide stuff and still effed up. To make matters even worse, a viewer suggested that if the file had truly been deleted, it wouldn't open. Lakari, trying to prove it was gone, clicked the file and it opened, proving live on stream that the material was still sitting on his hard drive.
Click couples and it won't open if it's deleted. Okay, well, I 100% fucking deleted it, so it shouldn't open, right? It opened, what?
By this point, the atmosphere in his stream had turned hostile. His moderation team, the people responsible for protecting him, began to turn on him. They stopped deleting comments and banning users, allowing the chat to be overrun with text-to-speech donations, calling him a PDF file.
Pedophile, 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 pedophile.
The total collapse of his support system was cemented when one of his own moderators resigned mid-stream, typing a message that read, "End your stream, dude, this isn't funny. This isn't a joke or something you can laugh off. I hoped that this somehow was a mistake or a virus, but it's looking real bad. You need to get help. I'm unmodding myself and unassociating with you. Peace." In the middle of everything falling apart, Lakari was clearly panicking and totally lost. He actually turned to Grok, Elon Musk's AI chatbot, and asked it live on stream whether possessing hentai was even legal in Texas. And he did this right in front of the same people already accusing him of having illegal stuff. It was next level self-destruction. The guy basically jumped straight into a hole and kept digging.
Is having hentai on your PC in Texas illegal, Brock? 43K? And that's if they think it's like, oh my fucking god.
While Lakari was fighting a losing battle in his own chat, the wider internet was already dissecting his excuses. Fellow streamer Quinn69 took it upon himself to test Lakari's claims technically. He attempted to replicate the glitch in his own stream to see if a deleted notepad file would still appear in the recent tab. Upon opening the program, he was able to debunk Lakari's excuse almost immediately, proving that the file's persistence meant that it hadn't been simply auto-downloaded and deleted as claimed.
Delete. Okay. No, it's not there. I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
Simultaneously, the internet began digging into Lakari's history, and what they found makes it seem like Lakari may have been hiding his alleged preferences in plain sight. They resurfaced old clips that suddenly took on a much darker context. One notable instance was a lie detector segment where Lakari jokingly admitted to liking lolly content. Whilst this moment was originally played for laughs, it is now being scrutinized as a disturbing admission of guilt.
Do you like lollies?
Yes.
Oh no!
But not like that.
Holy fuck.
What does that even mean?
I mean, his shit spiked, but I think it's just
But the most damaging blows to Lakari's reputation came from his own circle, the Austin streamer ecosystem, which, as we discussed earlier, played a major role in his rise. During the stream, Lakari attempted to drag Asmongold into the controversy, claiming he had messaged him to simply keep that kind of stuff on another PC.
Asmon messaged me and said, bro, you need a separate PC for that stuff. Oh my god.
Asmongold immediately took to Twitter to clarify his statement, writing that he had only seen a censored version of the clip and had no idea of the depravity of the actual files when he made the comment. He then went on to distance himself and his organization, OTK, from Lakari on stream, stating that Lakari was never an official member of OTK and was merely a friend of the group, and that they had nothing to do with his actions.
Day before yesterday, we did a podcast with them. And like last night, I was like, oh, we need to for sure upload this. But now I'm looking at what happened. I'm like, oh, maybe not, right? Why does OTK have so much drama? Shut the f up. Lakari was never even in OTK. He was just one of our friends. Like, what are you talking about? OTK, you're gonna drag OTK into this. We didn't have anything to do with this. I guess, like, probably there's gonna be like 50,000 people are gonna come in chat. People are associating you with friends with Tecton Lakari because you're part of it. Well, I mean, if he gets investigated, they're gonna find out all of his links. And so I say, you know what? I welcome that. You know, I have nothing to do with it. So why would I be worried? Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, the shit just really stresses me out, man. It sucks. It does. It really sucks. Fuck. You know, like, I don't know what else to say. Right? I mean, like, honestly, it does. Like, I don't really, fuck. It's heavy. Yeah, it's heavy. Like, and I don't want to get involved in it. I don't want to make, and I'm gonna be real, guys. I've already got one defamation lawsuit in the chamber. I don't need to be double barreling this shit, okay?
As a final measure, Asmongold also announced the cancellation of an upcoming podcast episode that was featuring Lakari.
There's gonna be probably a lot of people that will come in the chat and they want me to talk about the Lakari stuff. Obviously, I think it's really weird and bad. I don't want to make any decisions and judgments for a legal reason. All I'm saying is that I think that if there needs to be an investigation, I hope there is one, and I don't want to have anything to fucking do with it. I'll tell you that. And also, we had Lakari on the podcast a couple of days ago. Safe to say, Allcraft is not going to come out this week. Sorry, guys. That's it.
Mizkif, another central figure in the group, took an even more aggressive stance against Lakari, threatening to sue Lakari for falsely claiming Mizkif sent him the files.
Why would you stream it?
Actually, Mizkif linked it to me. He did.
Okay. Nice. That is absolutely defamation, and I will be suing you for that.
Ghost put those... Okay, first off, you're a fucking retard.
Idiots.
Because the files weren't on my PC.
You literally just called me a pedophile. If you don't think I'm suing you, Lakari, for everything you just have, you're fucking out of your mind. That's insane what you just said. Insane.
That is crazy.
You just fucking called me a pedophile.
He also went a step further, threatening to pull the internet logs from the time they lived together to prove his own innocence and further incriminate Lakari.
What if he was telling that stuff when he lived with you? You gotta report him yourself? Bro, I really hope that's not the case, man. I will take whatever actions needed. Tomorrow I'm gonna call AT&T.
Other major streamers, including Soda Poppin', also addressed the situation live, expressing disgust and completely distancing themselves from their former peer.
Insane. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, we woke up, just a couple Reddit threads. Vicky was like, hey, have you seen LSF? I'm like, no, what's going on? Lakari. What'd Lakari do? I was like, oh man, top LSF post. Ooh, this looks awful. And then I scrolled down, I'm like, another one. Wait, another one. How much content did this guy put out while being like outed as potentially a file? I mean, fuck. It's looking like philia, or at least the notepad. And they just scrolling. And the thing is, he streamed the whole thing. He actually dug a hole straight down to like China, fucking Lolly Town. Actually just kept digging. Crazy.
The final nail in the coffin came from the YouTube commentary community, when Penguin Zero, aka Moist Critical, released a video covering the situation, titled, "This Twitch streamer situation is disgusting," where he brought the situation to the attention of mainstream YouTube audiences.
The links are censored there, but apparently a lot of people have taken the plunge into looking up a lot of what was revealed here through the Lakari leaks, and what they have found is beyond heinous. Like, this is some evil shit we're talking about here. And after this happened, his stream was calling him out on it, and most people expected him to end the stream, to like hide the evidence, nuke it, basically banish it to the Shadow Realm and hope that people didn't have enough time to dig into it. Lakari, on the other hand, cooked up a different kind of scheme. He streamed for multiple hours after this happened, and just fucking face-tanked everybody that was digging into it, and all the people that were rightfully calling him out for how deplorable the shit they found in there was.
Charlie concluded the video stating,
"It does not look good. This looks fucking awful."
The consequences of the stream went far beyond embarrassment or the loss of his social circle. Lakari was banned from Twitch, stripping him of his primary income source and the audience he had spent over a decade building. He was also preemptively banned from Kick, which usually acts as a safe haven for banned streamers. To be honest, it's not looking good for Lakari. What started as a standard stream ended as a career-defining disaster, a 15-year legacy erased in a 5-second mistake. The final story shows what happens when the content stops looking like entertainment and starts looking like a public breakdown. Joshua Block wanted to be famous on social media.
Yeah, it was always my dream to become famous on a social media app.
And while he managed to achieve his dream, it also resulted in him turning into a raging alcoholic who constantly crashes out in public.
Shut the fuck up! I'll sue you for millions of fucking dollars!
Chases people down on the streets.
No, Josh! No, get over here! Josh, get over here!
And destroys random cars. Now, if you're not familiar with who Joshua is, he might come off as just another douchebag content creator like Johnny Somali, Jack Doherty, or Neon. But unlike those guys who thrive on being obnoxious for clout, Joshua's situation is just plain sad. He's ruining his life at record speed, all while uploading every second of it to the internet for everyone to see. But as you'll see by the end of this video, Joshua's descent into madness is largely fueled by enablers, clout chasers, and leeches who profited greatly from his downfall. Joshua Block, also known as World of T-Shirts online, had a rough start to life. He was born with autism, which made it difficult for him to understand and interact with those around him. However, he did not let this stop him from working hard in school and trying to do better in life. Unfortunately, when he was just 14 years old, he also lost his mother to cancer. This was a devastating loss, one that he never truly recovered from.
It was so sad. Like, why? Like, why?
For some unknown reason, his father failed to take custody of him as well, leaving him in the care of his grandfather. His grandfather did his best to support him, but without a stable parental figure, Josh struggled to navigate his teenage years, eventually turning to TikTok for attention and validation. He would occasionally post a video of himself doing something completely out of pocket, like eating crickets.
Check.
But his proper TikTok career didn't start until he uploaded a video captioned, "When McDonald's gets my order wrong," at the height of the pandemic in September of 2020. It was a simple video of him badly lip-syncing to a song composed entirely out of swear words. From there, he continued posting on the platform almost daily, and even made a video promoting the variety of content on his account.
World of T-Shirts is one of the few variety accounts on here. Most accounts focus on one niche, whether it's dance, lip sync. I do everything.
It wasn't long before his daily grind started paying off. He started seeing hundreds of thousands of views on every video he uploaded, regardless of its content. However, he didn't see mainstream levels of success until March 14th, 2021, when he uploaded a video of himself loudly singing Empire State of Mind in the middle of New York City. This went viral almost immediately, garnering tens of millions of views and turning Josh saying, into a meme. The video currently has over 7.6 million likes and is still one of the most viewed videos on his account. It's got popular enough to get Josh featured on a billboard in Times Square. And this is where things started to change for Josh for the better. Unlike countless other TikTok creators who see one viral video and then fade into obscurity, many people who became familiar with Josh stuck around. They found his off-key singing and sincere personality quite endearing. Many were also quite amused by his complete lack of shame in public, with a comment with over 100,000 likes writing, "The bravery you have to stand there and sing in front of those people, I couldn't do it." Later, a YouTube channel by the name of Apex Primary also uploaded a 15-minute long documentary on Joshua's life, titled "This Is My City: The Story of Josh Block Becoming TikTok Famous." This gave his fans more insight into his personal life, including accounts from his grandfather and high school teachers about how hardworking he was.
Has really come so far, and just knowing his background and knowing, where he came from and the hurdles that he's had to jump over in his life. Like I said, it hasn't been easy, for him. He's been dealt some tough cards, but Josh has kind of just tackled it head on.
This documentary also revealed the meaning behind his unusual username on TikTok, World of T-Shirts. Apparently, before he started making videos, Josh was big into photography. During high school, he wanted to make money off his hobby, so he started a business selling t-shirts with his photos printed on them. He named this business World of T-Shirts and created a TikTok account for it, which he later ended up repurposing for uploading videos. Josh also revealed his ultimate goal in life in this documentary, stating that he doesn't want to do a normal job.
Whether it's continuing with the influencer career or starting my own business, I don't want to work for someone. I want to be my own boss.
Luckily, enough people stuck around after his viral success to make this dream a reality. Unfortunately, this also marked the beginning of the downward spiral that destroyed his life. It started with him coming up with a clever way of monetizing his success. You see, unlike platforms like YouTube or Twitch, it's very difficult to make any significant money by just posting videos or live streaming on TikTok. So, in May of 2021, Josh started charging people $50 for photos and videos.
Make sure, okay? I'm reliable. Okay. I'll do the video.
Where does Venmo work?
Cash. I don't have Venmo. I have cash.
New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
This rubbed people the wrong way, who now saw him as a sellout, saying that Josh had quote become evil and that fame had gotten to him. Someone even secretly recorded him walking somewhere and posted the video with the caption, "Guys, don't tell Joshua," insinuating that he'll come asking for money if he found out. However, the backlash for this was quite minimal, since just as many people came to his defense for trying to earn a living doing what he loved, stating, "Get your money, Josh," and people have just been using him for free clout, so making money out of this is good for him. Love it. However, the support vanished quickly when Josh proved that there's no line that he won't cross for content. In June of 2021, a video of him came out in which he threw a fish on the ground and then stomped it to death while smiling at a camera. As you can imagine, this was extremely disturbing and left even his most loyal fans in disbelief, ultimately transforming into the first big controversy of Josh's online career. And how did he deal with the backlash? By giving a half-assed apology.
Yeah, okay, I apologized. Why don't we just end it? Stop with the cancel culture. I'm down like 8,000 followers because of this shit.
And saying that he was quote framed because the fish was already dead.
I didn't kill anything. It was dead already. He framed me.
He completely ignored the cruelty of what he did and just said sorry to hopefully stop losing more followers. His true feelings, on the other hand, were apparent from the comments he left on the original video, stating, "I can't freaking believe that you would post this and ruin my reputation. If you don't remove it, I will call the police for bullying me. What you're doing is slander, cease and desist. You can't be creative on your own, so you're exploiting me. I will also get your TikTok account banned if you don't remove this." Put simply, he was getting full of himself, something his viewers noticed as well. This resulted in his main account getting banned from TikTok, forcing him to make another apology.
Okay, I'm sorry about the fish. It was a wrong thing for me to do, to stomp that fish. Please, just give me my account back. It was my livelihood and they just took it away. You just took it away by mass reporting. Please, I'm terribly sorry.
Luckily, his pleading worked, and his account was reinstated by August of that year. And surprisingly enough, Josh remained drama-free for the rest of 2021. The temporary account ban likely scared him into staying away from any unhinged shenanigans. However, as 2022 rolled around, Josh's life took an unexpected turn, one that would later become the cause of his demise. This is because August of 2022 marked his 21st birthday, which is the legal drinking age in the US. Now, up until this point, Josh had stayed away from all other kinds of drugs and even vapes, so no one expected him to pay much attention to alcohol either. Unfortunately, they couldn't have been more wrong. It started slowly with a few drinks here and there, but quickly spiraled into a crippling addiction. His content went from doing silly things in public,
New York! Concrete jungle where dreams are made of,
to consuming copious amounts of alcohol in every single video he posted, often multiple times a day, and that's where he went off the deep end. As the drinking problem got worse, it started consuming his entire life. He would spend his entire day being drunk, only to chug down even more drinks whenever he felt like it. It wasn't long before all this drinking started getting to his head, making him angrier and more prone to crashing out. An important thing to note about Josh is that while he was always a bit quirky, he was never too aggressive. Most of his fan interactions were positive, and it remained this way until he started drinking in 2022. But once alcohol took over, that all changed. His once goofy and harmless demeanor started shifting into something more erratic, unpredictable, and at times outright hostile.
Take that!
He started crashing out during almost every single stream for various reasons, like whenever someone said the phrase "put the fries in the bag" or something even remotely similar, he would get triggered and chase them through the streets.
Put the fries in the bag! Shut up! Oh my god! Josh, put the fries in the bag! Put the fries! Put the fries in the bag, Josh! Put the fries in the bag, Josh! Yeah! I've had enough!
The reason he took so much offense from this seemingly harmless phrase is that, in his mind, it's a way for people to call him poor.
Why do you get so triggered by that phrase?
Because I know what it means. It's a fancy way of calling someone poor.
By saying put the fries in the
bag?
Yeah. Is it?
It is.
Even then, it's hardly something worth losing your mind over. However, Josh's existing mental conditions, combined with the effects of constant alcohol consumption, made this seem like the worst insult in the world to him, resulting in him often going out of his way to chase and threaten anyone who said it in front of him.
You put the fries in the bag. I'm gonna kick your butt!
But this was only the tip of the iceberg. In one instance, Josh went to Times Square in New York with his trusty hat and proudly claimed to be the captain of the city.
I run New York. Me. I'm the captain. I run the city now. Me. This is my city. I'm the captain of this ship.
This wasn't his first time making such a declaration, and likely wasn't going to be the last. Now, if he had posted something like this just a year ago, most people would have laughed it off as yet another silly and fun thing he came up with. But by this point, most of his fans knew about his alcoholism problem. They quickly realized that these were nothing more than the ramblings of a drunk man, with one of the top comments putting this into words, reading, "I think he had too much to drink." Unfortunately, this was one of his more tame outbursts. The alcohol was decimating his mental stability, causing him to lash out at everyone around him, and even going as far as calling people the N-word without a second thought.
I can't go to jail. I would. Oh, fuck you.
And what I've shown you so far are just a handful of the many examples of Joshua Block crashing out in public. There is literally hours of footage showing him flipping out at someone, swearing at them, and chasing them in the streets. And while some people still find this hilarious, like this one person who posted a comment under his compilation stating 58 minutes of pure gold, many still recognize what his situation really is. Incredibly tragic and sad. With one person writing, "I just recently started the road to recovery from severe alcoholism, and watching Joshua deteriorate while people encourage and laugh at it has been pretty sad." Another person shared a similar sentiment with a personal anecdote, stating, "This is really sad. I know a girl with autism who acts exactly like this. Even the pattern of speech and facial expressions are identical. People like this really need a good influence and a little guidance to flourish. The girl I know has an okay support system and seems to be doing well. This poor kid has been failed by everyone." Sadly, this empathy from some of his fans hasn't stopped him from doing things that are just plain wrong, from kicking strangers in public to wishing that his cousin, who was trying to get him into rehab, died from cancer, in texts reading, "F you, you cheap bastard. I hope you get cancer and die, just like my mother. You don't deserve the right to live." Worst of all, his alcoholism led him back to his old, messed up behavior with animals. Originally, the backlash from the fish stomping incident was a wake-up call for him. He tried to ignore the outrage and ended up getting his account banned. This made him truly regret his actions, which is likely why he never did anything harmful to animals again. That is, until he started losing himself to drinking, and went back to threatening violence against cats and dogs.
Let's stomp on a bluegill later. Let's do it. Can I take a picture? Or a cat. Can I take a picture? If Mr. Beast harasses me again, I'm gonna finish off his dog.
Fortunately, aside from forcefully pushing away a cat one time, he hasn't had the chance to do something truly horrific yet, which is definitely for the better. That being said, there is something that I haven't mentioned till now, something that takes Josh's story from unfortunate to downright tragic. You see, while we can attribute most of Josh's terrible behavior to his alcoholism, doing so doesn't show the full picture. In reality, his drinking spiraled out of control because the people around him did everything they could to both provoke and enable it. it. And the two enablers that played the biggest role in Joshua's descent into madness are Michael Quinn and Mr. Based. The first of these was Michael Quinn, who met Josh somewhere in late 2022 and quickly proceeded to become his manager of sorts. Michael would take him to parties and show him how to drink, quote, properly.
I'm showing Josh how to get lit.
Take him to casinos to encourage gambling.
Bringing my pal to a casino for the first time.
Yeah, you got.
And just constantly film him, all while enabling him to indulge in other harmful activities like smoking. Over the course of the next few months, Michael manipulated Josh into thinking that he had his best interest in mind.
Josh is me, Michael Quinn, no one else. No one else, tell him.
No one else. Michael Quinn is my mentor.
See that?
What made these interactions even more bizarre was the massive age gap between them. Michael was somewhere between 40 and 60 years old at this point, while Josh was barely over 20. This made many fans suspicious of Michael's true intentions, with one person going as far as accusing him of grooming Josh. Fortunately, Josh did manage to escape Michael's clutches eventually, but what should have been the chance for him to better himself ended in disaster, because not long after distancing himself from Michael, Josh fell into arguably worse hands of Mr. Based. Calling him a bad person would be an understatement. His real name, Jason Itzler, is an ex-felon who was once nicknamed the King of Pimps. In 2021, he was convicted of smuggling Schedule I hard drugs into the US and had to spend 7 months in jail. After getting free, Jason started operating one of the largest escort services in New York, while disguising himself as a paralegal in an attorney's office. He later created an online persona called Mr. Based, and that's the version of himself he used to get close to Josh.
My name is Mr. Based. I'm the world's greatest streamer. Why is this group walking past me?
Let's go.
Who are you guys?
Scram.
Who are you guys?
Scram.
You scram! You scram! How did you get so loud? And who are you, sir? Who are you? Everyone run! Mr. Based on YouTube!
From there, he would begin to use Josh for content, by constantly featuring him on his streams and filming his crash outs just to keep the views and subsequently the money flowing.
You're a fuck.
No bad words.
I'm from Brownsville.
No
You're
bad words.
Done.
You fucking loser. Ashburger.
You're a You mess with. You're a peasant. I make $5,000 a month, bitch.
And just like Michael, Jason hasn't shied away from supplying Josh with all the alcohol he could ever need.
Oh my god! He just threw his drink on me! Alright, now you've got problems, young man. Get over here!
In November of 2024, YouTuber Alex Novel posted a nearly 2-hour documentary diving into the life of Jason and his relationship with Josh. Near the end of this documentary, Alex managed to get a confession from Jason about his true intentions regarding Josh on call, and it boils down to Mr. Based waiting for Josh to die or become irrelevant just so he can inherit some of his audience or make money off them.
The past week with Josh has just been so busy, and look, the money's great. I'm not complaining about the money, but eventually this whole Josh era is going to end. He's going to move on soon and be done with me. I feel it, you know?
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm like a psychic. You know, I can feel this shit coming. I can't wait to be done with this kid, honestly. I know the content is great, but Josh's audience has to see how I'm so much more interesting than him, right? Like,
No.
they get that Josh is boring without me now, shouldn't they? You think I could get like 1/10 of his followers to stick around and pay?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they're already paying you, aren't they?
He is blatantly taking advantage of a vulnerable young man without a hint of remorse, and Josh's audience hates him for it. What's even more sad is that Mr. Bass knows exactly what he's doing. He's convinced Josh that he's the only person who knows what's best for him, so any attempt from the audience to convince him of Mr. Bass' manipulation has ended up being completely futile.
Mr. Bass, how does it feel to exploit a young disabled person like Josh for abuse?
Disabled!
Just go to rehab, just go to rehab, Josh, go to rehab,
Disabled!
Josh, go to rehab, Josh, go to rehab, Josh, go to rehab, Josh, go to rehab,
Disabled! I'm gonna fucking ruin you! Oh!
Now, some might argue that this still doesn't absolve Josh of everything he's done, but seeing the type of people who've been exploiting Josh for multiple years now, it's no surprise he ended up like this. And sadly, things are only getting worse. Nowhere is this more apparent than his latest trip to Japan, which could have easily ruined Josh's life forever. It was supposed to be a completely normal Japan trip, with Josh walking around the cities, trying the local cuisine, and the usual. But as you might imagine, it was anything but normal, with Josh calling a local taxi driver an immigrant F-word,
You immigrant fuck!
talking about looking for a dog to eat, having a meltdown on the street,
I'll never get this lens clean.
Put the fries in the bag.
Ah!
I didn't say it. It wasn't me.
Who did? Yes, who did? I need 400 grams.
hitting and threatening locals,
Hey, you can't say that. Oh! I'm gonna kill you. Whoa!
getting citizens arrested,
Breathe! I can't breathe!
and finally getting handed over to the police. One wrong move and he could have easily ended up like Johnny Somali, trapped in a foreign country because of his antics. Fortunately, he was let go with just a warning, and unlike Johnny Somali, who would have tried to push his luck, Josh made the right decision and returned to the US immediately. Sadly, avoiding Japanese prison doesn't matter one bit when he's already speedrunning the destruction of his life. After years of constant drinking, Joshua is on the brink of complete physical and mental collapse. He's severely depressed to the point of trying to end it all by jumping onto train tracks.
Have a seat, bro. You don't want to do this, bro. You're okay.
He's also starting to show signs of schizophrenia, like hearing phantom voices.
Who said that?
Not to mention his physical health, which is just as bad, if not worse. So, is there any hope left for Joshua's survival? In theory, yes. He still has the option to quit everything, go to rehab, and turn around his life for the better. Unfortunately, figures like Mr. Based still have a chokehold on his decision making, and him quitting content creation to pursue a healthier lifestyle goes against everything they want. And if that's not bad enough, he's now hanging out with the likes of Jack Doherty as well. So while he has the chance, it would take a miracle for him to actually turn things around.